What's up, guys? My name is Darrel, and today is the day you are going to learn how to make a WordPress website step by step with no experience required. Now, in this WordPress tutorial, you're not just going to learn how to create WordPress websites from scratch, but you're going to learn how to create professional, modern, mobile responsive websites that fit for 2018. In fact, this website was designed by a world-class designer to help my viewers get some inspiration and ideas for your website. Because let's be honest, nobody likes an ugly website. How many times have you left a website because you didn't like the way it looked? So in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can master WordPress and also create professional websites that look amazing. Now, let me give you all a quick tour of this website and show you how this page builder works in this WordPress tutorial. So today we are going to be using the #1 rated WordPress theme in the world. We're going to be using the Divi theme. And guys, making websites today has never been easier. So for example, let's just say I want to take this box and drag it right there. Take this box and drag it right there. Maybe you want to change this text. So I'm going to type in something like great design, click on save. And guys, that is it. The changes are live. So it has never been easier to make a website today with the Divi theme. Now let me give you guys a quick tour of the rest of the websites. So this right here is our About Us page, and you guys can always change the color. You can add in your own images. You can change the font. You can be as customizable as you want with your websites. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can incorporate these same designs on your website. And guys, it's really easy. Making websites with the Divi theme is so simple. So this right here is our About Us page, and next is our Services page. So I'll be showing you guys how you guys can create this services page for your websites. So maybe you want a website for your business, or you're just like the regular person kind of, poking around saying, hey, I want a website. Today in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can do that simply and easily, guys. It's so easy. So this is our services page. And next is our blog page. So maybe you want to add a blog to your website. So right here, we have these blog posts, and I'm gonna click on this one. And I'm gonna show you guys how you can incorporate a blog on your website along with something like a Facebook like box or a Twitter feed or Instagram or whatever platform you use. There's tons of them out there today. It's kind of hard to keep up with them. And here people can comment on it. You can reply to the comments and say, hey man, thanks for commenting and all that good stuff. And lastly, I'll be showing you guys how to create this contact form. And again, guys, you can change the color, you can change the font. And I will also be providing you guys with free images in this tutorial and templates to help get you started with design and decor for your websites. And lastly, let's say you're a small business owner and you kind of want to tell people where you are. So I'll show you how you can incorporate Google Maps on your websites so you can actually show people where you are located. So if you guys are ready to create an amazing website from scratch and you really want to learn how to use WordPress and make some really amazing designs, keep watching, guys, because in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do it today step by step. So the first thing we're going to do is get our domain and hosting, and my link will provide you all with a 60% discount off your hosting. After that, we are going to purchase the Divi theme. Then we are going to install WordPress. And lastly, we are going to create our amazing WordPress website. Now, there is a link in the description of this video. It will take you to a page that looks just like this right here. So this is SiteGround.com, and I use SiteGround.com because I compared them against 9 other competitors, and these guys came up as #1 as the most fastest, yet also the most reliable. So you don't have to worry about your website kind of like crashing or going down because these guys have some incredible uptime. They also have a 24-hour customer support line and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So that alone wins in my book. And that's me right there saying, hey, yeah, these guys are amazing. I personally use these guys on my website as well. So right here is our hosting plans. Now, I'm going to talk about each one, but I'm going to recommend only one. So I recommend the Grow Big because with the Grow Big, you get unlimited websites hosted rather than just a single one. So for example, let's say you're making websites and later you want to make like 2 or 3 websites. You can do that with the Grow Big or even the Go Geek option. So for those of you who've been around WordPress for a while and you kind of want to upgrade, I recommend the Go Geek as well. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Order. And right here, you'd put in your domain. So you can put in something like I love Star Wars, and then, 6, or I love Star Wars 6. And then proceed. And then right now, it would tell you if that domain is available. So this domain is available. And right here, you would put in your account information, your email, your password, and then your client information, etc., and give them your social security number. I'm just kidding. Don't put in your social. It's just a joke. Right here, you would put in your card number and then, etc., and your billing address, whatever. And guys, remember, these guys have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So I recommend the 12-month period because 2-3 weeks will give you enough time to decide if this hosting company is for you or not. But trust me, I am almost guaranteed that this is, because I use it. I've been around tons of hosting companies, guys. I've had some nightmares like where I wake up and my site is gone. I'm like, oh my God, But these guys are really reliable and really fast. Now, also for the extra services, I recommend actually everything. Now, usually on other services, I don't, but I'll just tell you what they do. So domain privacy basically protects your personal information if someone tries to look you up on the internet. So if you would want that, you would click on domain privacy. And also the SiteGround Site Scanner. This will basically check your website every single day to see if your website has been hacked or any malicious code has been injected. And this personally happened to me, guys. I've been in web design for a while, so I know that sometimes there's crazy people out there who want to spam your website with Viagra or something. This right here would be a great option for you. So after you're done putting all that information, you would click on Terms of Service. Okay, that's enough. And then you would click on Pay Now. So I will go ahead and meet you on the next page. All right, congratulations, you guys made it. So this section right here is the customer portal. So after you guys check out, you're brought to this page right here. And this is the page or area where you can, manage all your stuff, such as if you have a question about something, you can go to support, or you can look at their facts. You guys can also update your billing information right here. You guys can also add additional services. So maybe you want to add a dedicated server or a cloud hosting or upgrade. You can do that all right here as well. You can also add all this stuff right here. So tons of cool stuff. But you'll need to go to My Accounts, and we are going to install WordPress. So right here is your hosting account, and these are the domains. So I have tons of domains that I use. So right here, I'm gonna go to Manage Accounts, and then you're gonna go to cPanel. You might get a little box that pops up. Just press OK and just keep going. Always press OK. Never read the warning signs, okay? So right here, you're going to go down and you're going to go to WordPress because we are going to install WordPress onto our domain. So right here, WordPress, and go ahead and scroll down. Now right here, click on Install Now. All right, so right here, you're gonna go ahead and find your domain. So the domain that you purchased should be right here somewhere. So, just go ahead and click it. So I'm just gonna select this one right here. And right here, make sure there is nothing there, okay? Right here, you're gonna put your site name. Guys, you can always change this later, so don't worry, but you can I'm just gonna change this to Patty, which is my dog, and then the best dog. Right here, you can add your username. So you can put in Patty or whatever you'd want. And then you can put in your password. And remember, you will need this password to log into WordPress. So I'll make mine the same. And then right here, make sure you put your email. Right here, I'll just leave it standard. And then once we're done, you can select, your language. For those of you who speak a different language, you might want to put it right here. But I'm going to select English because I speak English. And right here, you can add in something these are plugins. You don't really need this. I'll talk more about plugins a little bit later in this tutorial. They're basically added features for your websites, okay? So once you're done, you can click on Install. And it is installing WordPress onto our domain. It says it's going to take 4 minutes, guys, but it probably takes maybe 15, 20 seconds at most. All right, it's 101% done. Awesome. Okay, congratulations, guys. We have installed WordPress. Now to access WordPress, you click on this URL right here. All right, so it's taking us to our website, and congratulations, guys. This is your website. So if you want to visit your website really quickly, you're kind of excited, you can click on Visit Site, and this is your site. So this is live, and right here we have Patty, the best dog, and we have all this resources. So we have successfully installed WordPress onto our domain and hosting. So before we go any further, I want to kind of change two settings in WordPress that are very essential. So right here, I want to go to dashboard. And again, guys, this is like where all the magic happens. So when you want to like make pages or posts, you'll do everything back here, but not to worry, I'll run you through everything so you'll know what to do. So right here under users, go to your profile. Now this is just for your purposes. So if you ever want to change your password in the future for WordPress, you would do it right here. So scrolling down here, blah, blah, blah. So right here under generate password, you would click on this and type in whatever password you would want for your website. And also if you ever want to change the email for your website, this is where you would do it as well. Okay. So I'm not going to change my password because I don't want to. So I'm gonna click on cancel. Now, one more setting I want to go through before we go any further is permalinks. So right here, go to settings and go to permalinks. Now right here, we have our permalink settings. Now, usually it's under day and name, but you always want to do post name. So for example, when you go to a website, like you see it's like yourwebsite.com-about us, right? Not your website -208, all this crazy mumbo jumbo. And also post name is the best for SEO purposes. So scrolling down here, I'm gonna go to save changes. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do, guys, is install the Divi theme. But before we do that, let's take a look at our progress. So first we got our domain and hosting. Congratulations. Then we installed WordPress. The next thing we're going to do is purchase and install the Divi theme. Now there is a link in the description of this video. It will take you to a page that looks just like this right here. And also congratulations, you guys get a 10% off. Now this company is providing you all with the Divi theme and also unlimited support for your website. So basically, if you guys ever have a problem with your website or something's not working, these guys will provide unlimited support for your website, which is pretty incredible. You get a team of developers to help you out with your website. And also they provide you all with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now in this industry, if you go to other websites, they don't offer that. Many websites do not offer money-back guarantees, but Elegant Themes is so confident that you will love the theme, they will provide you all with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And I personally use this, guys, on my own website. So I'm not just trying to tell you that, oh yeah, go ahead and buy it. No, I use it on my website and all of my clients' websites as well, because it's #1 for a reason. So right here, I'm gonna go to sign up today. And then right here, you can do your username, your email, your password, confirm it. And then right here, you put in your information and then complete registration. And guys, they have so many tutorials on they provide you all with free layouts, like tutorials to help you get better with design. This company truly is amazing. So right here, you go to complete registration. And I have an account, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and log in to my website. And I get so many people on my YouTube channel who always bounce around between tutorials. And then they always come to mine and they're kind of like, man, I should have just listened from the beginning instead of wasting weeks of my time trying to find like other themes. I was like, guys, trust me, I've been around WordPress for a long time. I know what's good and I know what's bad, and this is good, So right here is your account, guys. So this is like your downloads and like support. If you have a question or something, you can always like check out their blog and comments. You can blog, check on their blog and troll them like, hey, this is crazy. But no, I'm just kidding. They provide some really cool stuff. So I'm gonna go back right here, and right here is Divi. So right here, I'm gonna click on download, and this is going to download the Divi theme. All right, so we downloaded the Divi theme. Now let's go ahead and upload it to our WordPress website. So I'm gonna go to appearance right here and go to themes. Now right here, I'm gonna click on add new and go to upload theme. Right here, I'm gonna go to choose a file. Now I'm going to look for the downloads. So you're gonna look for your Divi theme. So right here, I have Divi 2. I'm gonna go to open and then go to install now. All right, so it is installing the Divi theme. Now right here, it tells me it has installed successfully. Right here, I click on activate, and voila, we have successfully installed the Divi theme. Congratulations. Now, if you guys want to look at your website right now to see how it looks, again, you guys can go right here to visit sites. And of course, it looks nothing like our website, but not to worry, we're gonna make a few changes and then we are going to start designing our website. So let's go ahead now and create some pages. So we wanna make the home, the about, the services, and all that stuff. So you can actually go right here to plus do and go to page, or you can go through your dashboard. It produces the same result. So right here, pages, add new. So let's go ahead now and create some pages. So right here, I'm gonna do my home page, and go to publish, And then let's say I want to make another page. So right here, add new. And then I want this to be our About Us page. And then we'll go ahead and create the services and the blog and the contact. So right here, services. Oh yeah, let me know what you guys thought of Star Wars, by the way. I didn't like it. I don't know. I'm a devout Star Wars fan, but the last Star Wars, I was truly disappointed. I just didn't understand most of it. I felt like they were just in a hurry to make the movie, and they just really didn't like have the quality writing content I was hoping for. So I was kind of torn because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So anyways, so guys, I made those pages. Now we need to actually add this to our menu. So let's go ahead and go over here to Appearance and go to Menus. And let's go ahead and create a menu. So I always just do menu one. Menu one. Go to Create Menu. Now right here under Pages, I'm going to go to View All. So I'm just going to select both homes, the blog, contact, all of this stuff right here, and go to Add to Menu. So right here we have Custom Link. Now we don't want this right here, but I'm going to explain to you what custom links are. So right here you can also see custom links. You can make your own links. Let's say, for example, you want to link them to like a PayPal donation or to another website. You would just put in like, whatever website you want. And then right here, put like Darrel's site. And then whenever they click on that link, they'll be redirected to whatever URL you put there. And this URL will show, or this will basically show them. So that's if you want a custom link. And it could be like, you can have it for all different type of reasons, but I'm just giving you an example of what a custom link is. But for now, I'm going to remove it. And I want to go ahead and decorate this menu. So I want the About Us right there, the home, About Us. We're going to put the services right there, the blog, and the contact. I'm going to make this a primary menu and go to Save. Now, one thing I also want to point out that if you guys want a drop-down menu where you like hover over something and it displays something else, you would just take this and simply drag it under and go to Save. So now if I go over to our website, you're going to see the home, services, blog, and contact, and the About Us will be a submenu. So right here we have the home, services, blog, and contact, and if I hover over the home, this is now a subcategory. So you can put like services, and then maybe like, like you're a contractor, like plumbing, roofing, whatever else you want to offer, you can add that under. So now we need to actually set our home page. So we do that through the theme customizer. And guys, every single theme out there has a theme customizer. Divi has a very well-designed theme customizer. It has tons of options. You can really change a lot of stuff, such as your logo and everything else. And also for those of you who don't have a logo and you want one, don't worry about it, because I'm going to provide you all with a website that will create a really cool logo for just $5. In fact, I use that website for my logo. Now right here you have some options, but not to worry, we don't need to use most of these right now. The only thing I want you guys to do is go to Home Page, go to a static page, and your home page you want to select as home. So what that means is when someone visits your website, they'll be redirected to whatever page you put here. So I want to put home right there and go to Publish. And then right here, I'm going to click on X. All right, so these are our pages. You guys can see the services, the blog, the contact. Of course, they're all empty because we haven't even started to decorate any of them. So let's go ahead now and do that. Let's go ahead now and create this website and make it look amazing. So let's get started. So right here, click on Enable Visual Builder. And basically this is what we use to kind of design our website from a visual standpoint. So we can basically see what we're doing. So right here we have this box. Now I'm just going to delete this box and delete this and just kind of start over from scratch. So we have one column row. Right here I'm going to click on this plus, and I want to add a single row, right? Now what do you want in this row? Well, I want some text. So right here, I'm going to select text. Now guys, there's a bunch of different modules. There's like a button, call to action, a contact form, pictures. They have tons of modules. So, I'm just letting you guys know basically what Divi offers. But for right now, I just want to select a text module because I just want to enter a simple text. And right here, I'm going to type in elegance. All right, so right here, I'm going to click on this, and I want to select this as a heading text. Now, later in the tutorial, you'll understand why I'm doing that. But for right now, I just want to select this right here as a heading text. Now, I want to design this. So right here, I'm going to click on the Design tab and click on Heading Text because we selected a header text. And I want to select a different font. I want to change this up. So right here, I'm going to click on Open Sans. You guys can also search for whatever fonts you want. They have tons of fonts, so I mean, they have just so many, and you can also upload them. Like if you're like a developer or whatever, and you want to like download them from like Google Fonts or something, they have tons of fonts, but I don't think you need to because they have so many right here. But I'm gonna select Open Sans right here, and then for the fonts, we can have it as light. So right here you can see it's getting light, or we're gonna have it something like ultra bold. Now you can also italicize it. You can make it all caps. You can kind of mess around with it to fit whatever you're trying to accomplish. But right here, I don't want to leave it as that. I don't want to italicize, nothing like that. Now I want to align this to the center. So right here, I'm gonna click on center alignment. So now you can see that it's center aligned. And I want to make this text bigger. I want to make it really big. So right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and select it. Now a really cool trick that I'm gonna show you guys right now is, let's say you want something bigger than 100 pixels. Well, you have to manually type it in. And then it'll basically show bigger like that. So that's a little trick if you want it to be a little bit bigger. So right here, I'm gonna put like 120 pixels. Okay, and then what color do you want this? Well, I kind of want it like a pitch black. All right, so there is my letter. And letter spacing. So if you guys want to space out the words, you guys can do it like that. You can kind of, understand how you can get creative. I've seen a lot of photographers kind of use that strategy. But right now I'm just gonna say, nah, I don't want to use it. Also, line height, we'll talk more about that a little bit later because we don't have anything above or below it too much. Also, shadow. So this is a really cool option. You guys can add a shadow behind it. See how we're having this little cool shadow behind it, so you can kind of emphasize what you're doing right here. Also, for this box right here, you guys can actually move it right there. You can put it here. You can kind of, be customizable and do whatever you want. I like to kind of have it like this right here to just, I just kind of like to move it really quick, or, I just kind of like it like that. Also right here, you can control the length of the shadow. So if you guys want to have this cool effect where it's kind of like, has this, this effect, you can have that as well. And of course, you can also change it vertically as well. So there's a lot of cool ways you can use to design this as well. All right. So, but I don't really want a shadow, but I'm just kind of basically explaining what a shadow is. And also you can control the blur strength, like how much blur do you want. You can change the actual color of the shadow. So instead of having that gray, you can have something like a red. So you can see now we have a red, etc. So that's basically what a shadow is. Now guys, all these options basically are the same for all the modules. So once you learn the options for one module, you basically learn for all the modules. So you really only have to learn this once, and then once you use other modules, it's the same thing. But right here, I'm just gonna click on no, I don't want a shadow. All right, so I have made my font, or my letter right there, my word. Now let's just say you wanna add something else. So let's just say, I want some more writing. I want another text module below this. Now there's two ways you can do it. You can either click right here, and just add in, like just enter and just add in some more text, and it's gonna show up like right there. And then of course you have to center align it, etc. Or we can just make another one. So let's just make another one. So right here, I'm gonna click on this plus. I want another text module. And right here, I'm like, welcome to the Divi theme. All right. And same thing, guys. So right here, I'm just gonna leave this as paragraph, which means it is just a basic text. So right here, I'm gonna go to design, click on text, and right here, I wanna change the color. So the light and the dark is sort of like a quick feature. So if you're like in a hurry, you just wanna do it really quick, you can just change it to light or dark, but you can always change the color right here later. So right here, I'm gonna do a text font, open sans. Right here, I'm gonna do semi-bold. Actually, I kinda want it a little bit, yeah, that's okay, I guess. We'll just do bold. And then for the text, I'm gonna leave it as regular. And we can change the text size. So maybe I wanna keep it a little bit bigger, like that. And for this text color, I want it pure black again. And for the letter spacing, we can kind of space it out. Now also for the line height, we talked about line height. So line height basically is creating space between or above. So right here, you can see it's kind of pushing space, reducing it. So there's a lot of other ways you guys can use line height, and we'll talk more about line height and different ways you can use it later in this tutorial. Now let's just say you want to center align this text. Well, we're just gonna click on center align, and that's basically it. So we've basically made our first section right here. So we have elegance, welcome to the Divi theme, etc. Now let's just say you want to go ahead and add a button. So maybe you want to add a button to this right here, just like we have on that other one. And a button's good, guys, because it can link to other parts of your website. So for example, you can link it to your contact page if you want someone to fill out a contact form, or you can bring them anywhere you want. So it's basically directing your audience, and that's probably the best thing to do. It's all about, like, they have like squeeze pages, where they kind of control where people go. So you kind of want that on your website. So right here, I'm gonna go to, I can't really see it right there too well. So right here, I'm gonna click on this plus. We can always move these modules later, so not to worry. And click on button. All right, and then right here, I'm gonna do get started. All right, and link. So where do you want this button to go? So if you want this button to go to a different part of your website, you would get the link URL and link it. Or you want to link it to another website, you would just put it in. Like that. But in our case, let's say for example, we want to take this to our contact us page. We would take our domain right here and simply just go ahead, paste it right there. And then it's -contact. So if they click on this button, it'll take them to our contact page. Okay. So that's basically what the link is. And then for the design, let's go ahead and design this. So I want this center aligned. And for the button, well, for the text is fine because we can decorate that a little bit later. For the button, I want to use custom styles for this button. And guys, we're basically going to create one button and design it, and then we're going to save it, and we can now use that button on different parts of our website without having to remake it all the time, because basically once you make it once, you can save it in a library and then use it on different parts of your website. So right here, I'm gonna say, yes, I wanna get this started. So right here, we have our button text size. I wanna say, I want it around 15. Button text color. So for this button text color, I kind of want to change it to something like a gradient feature. I kind of want that gradient look, but just right now for the actual text color, I want that to be white. Now it disappeared, but don't worry about it because remember we just made the text white, so it's in a white background, we can't see it. So right here under the background color, I want to go ahead and select this feature right here. So we have background color. Now this right here is the gradient feature. So if we want a gradient feature, we can have it, or one color, or we can even have an image, but that would make sense, right? So just for tutorial purposes, I'll select a background color and then select maybe that color or blue. But if you want a gradient feature, you can click on this right here and click on check. Now I want to select the kind of purple color that I used. So right here under select color, I'm gonna click on this, and I'm gonna go ahead and just type in the color code that it is instead of trying to find it manually. You can always click on it and kind of drag it around to kind of see how it looks. But the color code I used in particular was 981-6E8. And then right here, I used this other color, 340996. So I basically used this color right here. Now also we can change like the linear or radial. So basically radial means it starts from the center, and then linear means it kind of starts from the outside, and you can kind of control the degrees. So for example, right here, you can do like 100 degrees. It's kind of really hard to see on a button. I'll show you more about this on another section, but I actually use like a 103-degree angle for my button, and then I had like a 0, start position. And just to give you guys an example, you can kind of see how it's kind of starting at a different point. But we'll talk more about this in just a little bit. I don't really want a border width. So for example, a border width would give it like a border, and you guys can see it now. So if I hover over it, you guys can see the border, but I don't really want a border right here. And of course, you guys can change the border color as well. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and just leave that. We can have a border radius. So the higher the radius goes, the more circular it gets. Now you guys can see the button is circular, but I kind of want it squared like that. And we can choose the letter spacing, just like we had the other, we have the spacing with the text. We can do the same thing with our button, but I'm just gonna leave it as something like 2. A default button, you guys can also change the font of this. So I might want Open Sans since we've been using that for a while. And then right here, we do something like light, or maybe that's too small. So regular maybe. And then also we can like italicize it or whatever we want to do. We can also add a button to it. So for example, right here, I'm gonna click on a button. All right, now the button doesn't show yet because we need to actually activate it. So right here, it says a show icon only on hover. So if I hover over it, it'll show it. But if I take this off, it's always going to show it. So I kind of want that instead. Now we can also change the icon to the left or the right side. So I kind of want to like tell them, hey, click right here, you know. And then right here, we can actually change the icon color, but I prefer it to be white. So I'm just going to leave it like that because I think it looks good. Now also, if someone hovers over the button, you can actually change the button. How many times have you been to a website where you kind of hover over it and it kind of like comes out at you or the color changes? So for example, right here, like the hover background color. So these options are only for hover. So it's the same exact thing, but if I hover over it, now you see how it kind of turns green. So you can kind of change the hover features as well. So you can change the text color only when someone hovers over it to kind of emphasize like, hey, click me, or you know, whatever you want your audience to do. So I'm not going to go through the hover options too much, guys, because you know, they're basically the same thing all over again. You know, it's just for hovering over the button. So the background color, let's see right here. We'll just leave it at this right here. So it'll kind of, you know, it'll fade in and out, but we need to control the transparency there. So now if someone fades over it or hovers over it, it turns that color. So I'm just giving you guys an idea of the hover over options. It's just so customizable what you guys can do with this theme. So I'm gonna click on this right here. Now let's just say I want to take this button and drag it. I want to take this and drag it below this little white section, or these lines right here. So now I have that section that looks just like this. Very similar to our website right here, you know, so you can see get started, and then right here, virtually the same thing, except our button right here is just a little bit more thinner than the other button as well. So we've basically made our front page right here. Now I'm gonna introduce you guys to backgrounds. So let's say you wanna add a background to this. So right here, this blue section right here controls this entire area, and you can control the padding right here, and you can also change like the margin. But right here, I'm click on this and go to background. Now first, let's just do a regular pitch color. So let's just do a one color. All right, so we have this a regular blank color. Okay, and right here, or whoa, let's get rid of that. So here is the gradient feature again, as we talked about. So here we can do a gradient feature, just like we did for the button, guys. We can do the same exact thing for our background. You can have it radial. Let me give you guys a little better idea of some of these gradient features, because now it's a little bit more easier to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this like that. So here I'm gonna go ahead and drag this down. So I'm gonna click on this really quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and make this a little bit longer. Same thing right here. We're gonna go ahead and make this a little bit longer, like that, so you guys can see it a little bit more easier. Now right here, I'm gonna go back to over here and go to my background. And now we can kind of mess around with these options a little bit more to give you a better idea of what these are. So radial direction, you can change like, you know, how you want it to look. Linear is actually a little bit better, guys, because you can kind of get a better idea of a gradient. And you can also create some really creative split screen effects. So right here, we have the start position, and then we have like the end position as well. So you can totally create some really cool split screen effects with this. So I mean, you guys can get really customizable with this stuff. And then start position, you can kind of, you know, put it like that. So I'm just giving you guys an idea of how you guys can use these to basically be really creative. And I've seen some really cool websites where they really take advantage over this stuff. But let's just say we want to go ahead and add in a background image. So I've shown you guys a little bit about gradient. I'm going to delete this, and right here we have images. So I'm going to click right here. Now there is some images in the description of this video. If you guys choose to use them, you're more than welcome to. If you guys want to use your own images, or you want to see some really cool ones, go to unsplash.com. So unsplash.com. These guys have some amazing pictures. I mean, look at these pictures. You guys can, you know, find some really cool big pictures. See right here, we'll do like night sky. Night sky. It's a really famous one. And then right here, we just have some beautiful pictures. Just really good, really amazing. So you can go ahead and grab them. And these are free, guys. So you can use these on any websites. They're totally copyrighted. The image that I used, the one with the ink right here, this actually is owned by a website. So I'm not allowed to redistribute it. However, if you want to purchase that same exact one, I'll leave a link in the description. But I think most of you might want to use your own, or you might want to use a demo. So right here, I'm gonna click on select files. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and select the images that I have made for this tutorial. So I'm just gonna select all of them right here. And I'm gonna go to open. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wait for these to upload. So my images have finished uploading, and I'm going to just select an image right here. So I'm gonna select this one right here. So this is 1950 by 1300, and click on upload an image. And there you go. So now we have this background image on our website. And we can also have the parallax effect. So right now I took it off, but if you want to add the parallax effect, that means when someone scrolls up and down, the screen kind of follows. So that's a pretty cool thing you can add to your website if you want to add the parallax effect. Now I'm gonna turn this off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and delete this really quick and add in another one. And I'm gonna show you actually how to add an overlay to your background. So right here, I'm gonna select this one right here. Now you guys don't have to follow me if you guys do not want to, but I'm just showing you an additional feature. So I have this background right here, and I'm gonna click on this and click on this check. And now you guys can see that we have this overlay, this gradient overlay past our, above our image. Now, if you want to reduce the transparency, we can do that. So you see how now I'm kind of reducing the transparency to kind of give it that look right there. So you guys can have a lot of fun with this as well if you guys want to change like your, get really customizable, guys. It's just incredible what you guys can do with this theme. I mean, your imagination is the limit, so you guys can have fun with, this and mess around with it and see what color gradient features work for you on your website, okay? And again, if you want to control the transparency, that's where you would do it, okay? So that's basically in a nutshell, guys, of this front page right here. So right here, I'm gonna click on save. And again, remember, we linked this part to our contact page, okay? Now, really quickly, I want to click on this section right here and click on button. So basically, I am saving this button for later. So instead of redoing another button, we should just use this same button again, right? Because we might want to use a button somewhere else on our website, right? So right here, I'm gonna click on Save to Library, and now we can load that button to another part of our library. So let's go ahead now and continue. Let's go ahead now and make the next section, which we're gonna make a split screen section. So right here, I'm gonna click on this plus, click on regular, and you guys can see there's different rows. So basically, you can add a module to each specific row. So right here, you can have like a call to action, a contact form, etc. So I'm gonna click on this right here. Now, this section right here, I wanna add a text module. And then I can put something like, over here, you guys can see I've kind of put this right here. What we do, you will love it. Now, I'm going to give you an example of how to add different fonts to the same text box. So what we do, you will love it. And then right here, I just added some basic text, something similar like that. And I can just go ahead and I can just throw it right there. Okay, so for this one right here, I want to do heading 1. For this one right this one right here, I want to do heading 2, and then this one right here, I'll go ahead and leave it. Okay, so heading 1, heading 2, and then regular text. So let's go on over to our design, heading text. So now we have heading 1, and we can go ahead and mess around with this. So you guys can see now how this is only changing this one right here because heading 1 controls heading 1 text, okay? And this was a new feature that Divi introduced that really helped clarifying like situations on, because it was before you had to like make each text row and you have to like make a lot of text modules, but now you can just kind of add everything within the same one to make it much easier. So on this top one right here, I'm gonna do heavy. And right here, I wanna add something like, I'll just leave it as open sans or roboto, it doesn't really matter. And then the alignment, of course, we can move the alignment to wherever we want, but I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it to the left. Font size, I wanna make it just a tad bigger. Let's do 55. And for now, that's good. So let's go ahead now and select the next one. So H2, which is this one right here. So right here, we can select like open sans, or we can change it to something like roboto. And then instead we can make it really thin. We can make it really thin, yet also make it a little bit bigger. Like that, okay? And then for letter spacing, you can kind of like, be creative. So it's kind of adding style to your website. So you guys are getting the idea of why you'd want to use some of these features. But also the line height, you might want to increase it to add some margin. And then of course you can add like that if you want, like a shadow. These options, guys, are the same for everything. So, I'm not going to cover all these all over again because you guys kind of get the idea of it. But there are some other options that we might want to talk about, such as like spacing, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. Spacing, guys, is probably one of the most important parts of text and positioning because it basically tells you where you want to position stuff. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and click on this. Now the last part is just text. So if we want to just change the text right here, we would click on this text section right here. Okay, so text, and then right here we can kind of change this to something what we want, like able or open sans. And then right here we can change the color. So right here we can make it a little bit smaller or bigger, however you want to do it. Text color, black. So basically, guys, in short, what we've done is categorize the text. So I kind of want to control each and every one. So I want each one to have a different font and color, etc. Okay. And another thing that we can do right here is click on this. Now let's just say you want to add in a link, but you don't want to use the button. So right here, I'm going to click on something like click me. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to scroll up and click on this insert link. So right here, where do you want your visitors to go when they click on that? So right here, I'm gonna put darrelwilson.com. Or you have the HTTPS. They're really picky about the HTTPS, and then OK. And then click on check. So now, if someone clicks on this "click me" right here, they'll be redirected to whatever you put right there. And you might want to kind of underline it or something. You know, I don't know. You can underline it or italicize it to let people know that it's a link. I think right here I underlined it. So that's if you want to you can add that right there. So underline, you can add that, or of course you can go through the options and decorate it, whatever you choose. Okay. So right here, I'm gonna click on check. Now right here under this one right here, we can add different stuff, guys. Like you can add like a button, you can add like a call to action. You can like hey, and then what's up? And then right here, you can add in like other text. So just giving you an example of what that is. We'll do a call to action a little bit later. In fact, a call to action is basically what we have right here or on the second page. Just to give you guys a quick example, this right here is a call to action. So when you're telling people to click on something, that right there is a call to action. Right here, they're pretty well known, but right here, I'm gonna click on plus, and we're gonna go ahead and add in a image. And this next part, guys, is pretty simple, but I'm going to show you a trick on how to add a split screen. And later in the tutorial, we'll get a little bit more advanced, a little bit towards the end of the tutorial when you guys are, getting more comfortable with this. So right here, I want to select an image. I'm gonna select this one right here and go to upload an image. All right, so now you have your image. Pretty cool, right? So we have this text right here, but maybe we want this text aligned, somewhere in the middle, right? It's kind of a little bit too far or too top. We want it kind of like in the middle with this picture. So under design right here, we have sizing and we also have spacing. So margin basically controls where it starts from. Padding makes space. So for example, if I add padding right here, it's going to create space on the top. So let me give you an example. 50 pixels, you can see how it's creating space. And if I add more, it's going to create more space on the top. And of course, you can add in tons of space where it just doesn't look good. So that's just an idea of what padding is. So maybe you want to add like 75 pixels. So now you guys can see that it's aligned with this right here to make it look really cool. Okay. Now let's just say you want to kind of make this a split screen. So we want this image to cover everything and we want this to cover everything. So this blue section right here, I'm gonna click on check and go to design and go to spacing, and I want to change all this to 0. So basically padding means I don't want any space anywhere. Oops, I put 9. Whoopsies. So 0, 0, 0, 0. Now for this other section right here, we can actually either, destroy the padding just like we did, or we can drag it. You could have done the same thing, guys. This produces the same result. You can take out the padding on either side to kind of, take out the padding or whatever. You can type it in, or you can just manually do it just like I did it before. So this right here is like creating padding, and then this right here destroys it. So that's just an idea of a second way of how to manipulate padding. So right here under row settings, I want to go to design, and I want to make this a full width. So under the spacing right here, under the sizing, I want to go to make a full width, and the custom gutter right here will actually squeeze everything to get really close. So now you guys can see that we have that, and I want to equalize these columns. Okay, so right here I'm gonna click on check. So now we have this really cool split screen effect. But our text right here is kind of acting weird. We want to move this, so let's add some margin to it. So module settings, design, spacing, and margin. So it's really simple, guys. So how much margin do you want on the top? Well, I want 30. And on the right, you can add 30. On the left, I want maybe 80. And then maybe some more on the top. You guys see what I'm doing right here? I'm kind of controlling where I want it to be. So that's basically how you would use margin with text in a block like that. Later in the tutorial, we'll talk about another way how you can do this that is a little bit more difficult, but at the same time, it may be more responsive. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that is basically how we accomplish the split screen effect to our website. So this next section, I'm going to show you all how I accomplished this section right here. Now this pattern you see right here, we'll do this a little bit later in the end of the tutorial when we get a little bit more advanced. It just requires some small CSS. But for this section right here, I'm going to show you how I accomplished this section right here, along with these patterns right here, these icons with this background effect that I added right here. Okay, so right here, I'm gonna click on over here, and let's go ahead and add a new section, guys. So right here, I'm gonna click on add a new section, regular. Now I'm gonna click on this right here, and I'm gonna go to text. And right here, I'm gonna go to our features. Spell that right, our features and design. Well, we can change this to a heading text if we'd like. We can leave it, or it doesn't really matter at that point. So heading text, and right here I want to change this to just something like open sans. I'll make this ultra bold, and then I want to center align it right there. Now for the text size, I want to make it maybe like 50, or 50, and then we'll go ahead and leave everything else right here. I don't want to add anything else to it, so I'm just going to leave that right there. Now also really quickly, I want to show you guys a really cool feature. So this blue box right here, see how this white is, see how this white right here is, it's too much, it's too much white, and we're not really telling our visitors like how we're directing them. So let's go ahead and click on this blue section right here, and let's create a box shadow to sort of categorize the sections to help people navigate the website better. So right here under the design, I'm gonna go to box shadow, and right here I'm gonna click on this box, and you see now how we have that little box shadow to kind of tell people that we're starting a new section. So that's a good idea on how you can kind of use the box shadow as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that box shadow right there. I don't want to add too much, and click on check. All right, so we basically created a box shadow around that to kind of, tell people where we're starting from, So, all right, so I basically made that section. Now right here, I'm gonna click on plus and go to text. And right here, I'm just gonna type in features. And I'm just gonna click on design, text. I'm going to change this to, well, it doesn't matter. We'll leave it like that. Right here, I'm gonna do Playfair. Is that right? Playfair display. Okay, so then right here, I'm just gonna leave it as, we'll do bold. And then I want this text really big, maybe like 200 pixels. Okay, and then 200 pixels. And then right here, I'm gonna click on orientation right there. And right here, I wanna make some space, guys. So I kinda wanna push this page down a little bit before I continue. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and just drag this and push this down more. I kinda wanna make a little bit more space to, just give me some working room, So right here, I have this features. So we have designs and everything. Now what I wanna do actually is I wanna take this and I kinda wanna put it behind, and I also wanna reduce the transparency. So right here, I'm gonna take this and drag it above it. Now you guys can see it's overlapping now. And the reason why it's overlapping is because this text is too big. So I actually want to make it transparent to kind of have that really cool, neat design look that I had before. So going to my text, I'm going to go to the text color, and I'm going to reduce the transparency of this. See how now it's really kind of fading away like that right there? So now it actually looks better, right? It looks like it's, it's creative at the same time. So, and then maybe we can, change the text size, but you guys can see right here, we did the same exact thing right here. So I did features, and then right here we did the same exact thing, except I just capitalized the F right here. So right here. So then we can, that's basically how we accomplish this section right here, okay? And you can reduce the transparency more to have it like that, but I think that looks great. I think that's really creative, and I think that's really appealing for your visitors. Now let's go ahead and add a background image to this section. So right here under this section, remember the blue section controls the background. So I just want to show you why I'm using the blue section. So right here, background, image, select, and I want to select, we'll select this one right here. All right, now I know that looks really ugly, but not to worry. So right here under background image position, I want to do center left, and I want to do like maybe fit. So now you guys can see that it's fitting, center left is fitting, and it's going to actually follow. So basically it's going to basically say, look, no matter how big this gets, it's going to stay in the center left. That's basically what those options kind of mean. Now let's go ahead and make some blurbs. Let's make something different besides text. You know, text is boring. You know, I want to make something fun. So here I'm gonna click on this, add a new row, click on 3. Now we can do something like a blurb, or we can use like a call to action. You can add like a circle counter. There's tons of stuff, like for example, like number and then like 1000 or something, you know. So I'm just giving you guys an idea of what modules are. They're just basically different tools to design your website. But I want to add in something cooler. I want to add in a blurb. It's right here, blurbs. And blurbs are great for like our services page, you know, where it's like, you know, you talk about like whatever, and you just kind of like talk about stuff, and then you just put like a little, you know, text that talks about nothing, you know, to impress visitors about your website. But I'm gonna add some dummy text right here. Well, actually, I'll just grab this right here. If you guys need dummy text, just go to dummy text. And then right here, I mean, I use this site all the time. You just grab dummy text. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, I mean, maybe it's something in like another language or something, but we just use it. You know, we just use it just to fill up space, to kind of give us an idea of, you know, what it would look like. So also you can link it somewhere. So if you want, when they click on the icon or this text, you can link it to a specific URL. You can add an image and a background or an icon. I want to use an icon. So I want to use like a phone or something. Yeah, because I'm talking about mobile responsive. We got to have a phone there, you know, to kind of talk about, you know, what we're talking about. So, and then background right here, you can add a background. See, guys, these are all the same options again. So remember, I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea of that. So that's basically what that is. Now I want to add a gradient right here. I want to add a gradient, and I want to use those same exact colors that I had before. So I'm gonna click on this. You know, it's kind of annoying. I wish I can like leave it like, you know, the way it was, you know, or have like a stock option to always select the gradient that I was using. So that color right there, no, E8. There it goes. Oh, that's cool. And then right here, I'm gonna go ahead and select the other one of 340 996. Okay. And then the gradient type, it's a linear. And then right here, you can change the gradient direction to something, whatever you want, and start position. You can even make like a split screen on this little thing. You know, you can even add like a start and end position like on this right here. You know, I'm telling you guys can get really customizable with this stuff. So that's basically the option that I wanted. Now I'm going to go to the design right here. And I want to actually decorate the text and everything, because this is just so ugly. You know, we have to change that immediately. So the icon color, I want it as white. We can also change like the icon placement. We can have it to the left. We can use a circle icon. On my last tutorial, I believe I used this feature on the left, but for this tutorial, we're gonna leave it on the top. For the text, I want it center align, and I kind of want it light. Now you can change it in like whatever you'd want. Like you can you know, change the color font to whatever. But like I said, remember how we talked about like quickly doing it? That's exactly why we have it. So quickly, and then you can add a text shadow to this if you want, but I don't think it really matters too much. All right, text shadow color. No, so title text, we don't need any of this stuff because we don't need that much border. Now, what a border is if you want to have rounded corners. So right here, I'm gonna put like 10 pixels. Now you see how the box now has rounded corners, and I think you can kind of like keep going, but I kind of just like it like that. So you can add something like 50 pixels, but I think it's going to just like, you know, that's too much. So I just want it as 10. And scrolling down here, now also we can change the border width and also the border color, but I don't want a border width because that would just not look good. I mean, there's ways you can, you know, manipulate it to look good, but I'm not going to use that. I don't want to use the box shadows. The filters are just like different ways you can like Photoshop stuff, but these are actually much better on images, and we'll talk more about filters and stuff like that a little bit later. And again, you guys can add animation to this stuff. So if you wanted to like animate, so for example, if someone scrolls down, then it can like flip or fold or roll. And there's a lot of cool ways you guys can, you know, manipulate this when someone's on your website. And then these right here are just controls for it. So for example, the duration. See how it kind of takes longer? You can even have a delay. So if someone scrolls down, it's going to take 4 seconds and then it's going to delay. You can also do the intensity, the starting opacity, which means it's going to be faded when it enters in, and then it kind of gets more darker as it goes. So you guys can kind of have fun with these options. You guys can just mess around with these options to basically understand what they do, but I don't want that. And I'm going to go over here to sizing. So sizing, I think, is good. We can always change the content width. We can change all that stuff, but I choose not to. Spacing, I want to mess with this stuff. So I want to make this stuff a little bit bigger. You know, it's too close to everything. So I want to add some padding within it. So let me just show you what I'm going to be doing. So 45 pixels. You can see now we're creating space right there. Here, I want to add 30 pixels, and then 45 pixels, and then again, 30 pixels. So we've kind of made it a little bit more unique. You know, we've made it really nice and it looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this right now. Now we can also duplicate this instead of doing all that hard work all over again. So duplicate it, drag it, duplicate it, and then also drag it. Simple, right? And then of course you guys can go ahead and change the options. Like for example, you might not want a gradient background here. I think for my demo, I actually changed this to white. So I can go ahead and just go to like my design and then go to like image. I would have to change this to something like purple. So change the contents to purple and also the text to purple. So right here, I can do not the text shadow color, but the title text. You guys get it. So I can basically change it to all white again, but that'd be, you know, that's a little redundant. You guys kind of understand the point of all that. So that's basically how we can create this section right here. Again, I just made it a little bit smaller. You guys can always reduce the size of this, but you know, these are just basically settings where you would just kind of like have to just kind of mess around with and stuff like that. And right here, the gradient is a little bit different just because I positioned it a little bit differently, but you guys understand the main point. So you guys can just duplicate this whole row again to get 6, and then you would be good from there. Okay. So really quickly, my background image right here, I kind of want to change this option right here for our background image. So for our background right here, I kind of want it to either, you know, cover or actually, let's see, we'll do actual size. So that looks a little bit more professional. So if you guys use cover, it's going to kind of like, you know, it's gonna be a little bit bigger. Fit's gonna be a little bit bigger. So I prefer using the actual size that we made for this tutorial. And center left, again, if you make this bigger, it's going to like adjust to wherever that is. Okay. So that's basically, guys, how we created this section. And again, to just, you know, create the entire section, I'll just duplicate it, and you can add in whatever features or blurbs you want to this section. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this and click on save. And we're going to go ahead and do the next section. So it's pretty simple, right? Pretty easy. You know, I hope you guys are with me. So let's go ahead now and make our next section. So this next section is going to be a little bit more advanced, I guess you can say, but we're going to go ahead and make this section right here. So basically this is a 2-column row. So text, a divider module, text button, and an image. And then I just reduced all the padding. And then right here, I did the same exact thing, except I just inverted it. So we can basically just make one right here and then just duplicate the row and just switch the positions around. So let me just show you how we did that. It's pretty simple. So right here, I'm gonna click on plus, regular, 2-column. Now, before we added an image right here, but I'm gonna show you an alternative way to do that. But right here, I'm just gonna go enter in text. And then see, what did I put over here? I put in who we are. And then right here, I made it like I'll just change it to heading. And then heading text, we'll just change this to something like open sans. And then we'll do like ultra bold. And then right here, I'll just click on OK. Now, I also want to add in a divider. So right here, I'm gonna click on add a module, and we're gonna look for the divider module. So what the divider module does is that it actually creates that line, but it actually makes space as well. So right here, I want to show the divider. We can add like a background to it or whatever, but I don't want to do that. So color, we're gonna select this as this purple. And then we have styles. So right here, we can have like the, you know, dotted or dash or however you want to kind of mess around with that. But we can have it vertically centered, the bottom or the top. Sizing right here, we can control the weight, which is how long you want it. And then the height of it. And then also the width of it as well. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and select it like that. And then right here, you can choose it to like have it to the left, whatever. So I'm gonna put it right there. So just like we have it right here, I'm going to put it right below it. Okay, so I also want to, let's see here. Yeah, that's okay. Height, guys, is basically how much space it's dividing. So the more you have, it's gonna go more, the less you're gonna have. Spacing. Now, I kind of want to mess around with this a little bit. So I kind of want to create that messy little kind of look I have going on. I don't want to make it look like that. I want to kind of, you know, so right here, I kind of want to add something like maybe 15 pixels. And then also right here, I'm going to do minus 20 pixels as well. Now, the reason why it's not moving is because under the sizing, we have this module alignment. Now, this rule oversees it, but by taking this off, now you can see that we kind of have that messy look now on our website. All right, so let's go now and add in a new module. So I'm adding a text module. And I'm gonna go over here and kind of just grab this text and go ahead and paste it in there. Now, I kind of want to show you guys another feature really quickly. So right here, if I highlight all this and click on this quotations tab, we now have this little like quotation bar. So if you can go to your design under the text and you click on this little section, now you can go ahead and kind of design like the actual like quotation itself. So the text size, the block alignments, you can, you know, kind of like mess around with it a little bit. So that's just an additional feature that you can, you know, use. You know, you can change like the specific block quote text color. You can also change like the block quote text size and all of this stuff. So it's basically the same thing, guys, except it's just adding that little bar in there and giving you a little bit more customization. But that's just, you know, just for you. So I'm not going to add that in. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out. And really quickly right here, I want to move this, drag it up. All right, and maybe this section right here, I want to go ahead and change this to something like bold. I want to make it a little bit more darker. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in some more text. So again, right here, we can add in like either more text below it, or we can add in another text module. It's really up to you at that point. But I'm going to click this and I'm just going to insert more text below that. Okay, and the text is kind of I don't like that. You know, we should make it a little bit more regular, maybe even thin, and maybe a little bit more darker. Or let's use open sans, and maybe we can change this to something like dark, like pure black. Makes it a little bit more professional looking. And now let's talk about the button. So I want to add a button, but I don't want to make another one from scratch. You know, let's go ahead and use the same button that we've been using, right? So right here under plus, we have add from library. And now we have that button that we saved from earlier. So by clicking on that, now we have the button right there. And right here, we can go ahead and align the button to wherever we want. So for example, design, alignments, we can go ahead and push it to the left right there. So that's going to save us, guys, a lot of time. You know, instead of having to manually remake it all over again, we just basically made a really cool section right here. Now, instead of adding an image right here, I want to show you guys another way you can kind of manipulate this theme. So right here under the settings, we have background. Now you can also add pictures and everything else to each column. So right here we have column 1 background, and then right here we have column 2 background. So right here, I'm gonna click on image, click on this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and select this one right here. So click on upload an image. Now you guys can see that we have that image there. Now I wanna go ahead and manipulate this, guys. I wanna actually make this kind of like a split screen effect, but not through the entire screen. So this is where some skills comes in. But also another really cool thing about this right here is you guys can actually add stuff over it. So you can add like a text module over it. So instead of using Photoshop and doing all that typical stuff, you guys can actually use the theme to kind of manipulate it to basically say, I want to add text over this instead of having to like go to Photoshop, adding text over something, because that's a nightmare. You know, Photoshop and image sizing is probably some of the most annoying things about web design. So really quickly, let's go ahead and fix this section. Now, I don't want any space up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag this and drag that. Now over here, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the design, spacing. Now right here, I'm gonna add 0 pixels and everything. So 0, 0, 0. Now, this is where things can get a little confusing, but I kind of wanna open you up to this because I want you guys to understand what I'm doing. So right here under the column 1 padding, I'm actually adding 100 pixels. And same thing right here. So you guys can see now it's kind of, I'm basically controlling the image. And also you guys can use %. So like, you know, for example, if you guys want to push something else, you guys can use like a percentage, something like that if you guys choose to. So right here I'm using 9% just to give you guys a brief idea of what I'm doing. So I basically did that whole section right there, but guys, I'm lazy. I don't want to have to do everything all over again. You know, I want something quick, quick and easy, right? So let's just go ahead and duplicate this row and we'll switch everything on the opposite side. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure all our settings are correct. So for the design, for the spacing, on the sizing, we wanna make sure it's custom gutter width 1, equalize column row, etc. Okay, make sure that you have the gutter width to set 1. Now right here, I'm just gonna click on duplicate. Now guys, this stuff is pretty advanced. So if you're not understanding this 100%, don't worry about it because this is pretty advanced, but I just kind of want to open you guys up. So if you guys want to make something that looks like this on another website, you guys will know how to accomplish it. So right here, I'm gonna say, you know what, for the background, I want to add the background image, or I'm gonna take this one out. We're gonna take this one out, and we're gonna add this under the first one instead. So background image right here. I'm gonna switch them. So all I'm doing right now, guys, is switching everything. So right here, I'm gonna add this right here. Now right here, I'm gonna take this and simply just start dragging everything over, All right, and then push this one over. Let's see, get it below it. There we go. We got it. And then the last section right here, we're gonna add that again to the bottom right here. Okay. So I do need to change some settings because we have everything basically towards the other side. So instead of having column 1 padding, we need to change column 2 padding. So right here, I'm gonna click on row setting, design, spacing, and instead of row 1, we're gonna use row 2. So 100 pixels right here, 100 pixels right here, and then we're gonna add 9% to there, and then we're gonna go ahead and delete that top part right there. So we've just basically produced the same exact results to this other section. Now, another really cool stylish thing is, let's say you want to add like a circle in the middle or something like that. You want to add something really cool and really unique to your website. So right here, I'm gonna click on save. All right, and over here under this setting, I'm gonna go to background and I'm gonna add a background right here, or a background image. And I'm gonna add this one right here. And I want to actually put this right here in the, I want to put this in the center, and I want to do the actual size. So now we can actually have that really cool effect right there. So that's another way you guys can use the actual size and, you know, centering and stuff like that, because now guys, that looks beautiful. You know, that's a really beautiful section that we created. So now you know how to accomplish that. I know that was kind of confusing, but I'm just trying to open you guys up to different revenues instead of, you know, just adding like a blur, image, you know. So that part was probably the hardest part of the tutorial. So if you guys managed to do that part, congratulations, because that was probably one of the most confusing parts, but it is also, you know, it produces amazing results. So let's go ahead now and do the next section. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this one time, and we're just gonna add some quick testimonials to our front page. Now, I don't want to have to make every header section all over again. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to take this section right here and we're going to add this to the library, because what we can do is basically copy and paste this onto different parts of our website instead of having to, you know, redo everything all over again. So right here, I'm going to go save row to library. I'll put header section and save it to library. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and scroll down right here. Now right here, I'm going to click on this icon or this plus new, regular, and just add a single row. Now really quickly, I'm going to close this, and I want to add that other section to this part. So right here under this teal line right here, I'm going to click on this, add from library, and click on header section. So now we have that section we have right here, and we don't really need this box right here, so we can just delete it right now. So we have this section right here, but I wanted to say testimonials. So I'm going to do testimonials. But you guys can see there's a problem. So this box is, this text is too large for this box. So we can either make the font smaller or we can make the row longer. So right here under the row settings, I'm gonna click on this and go to design, sizing, and I wanna make this a full width row. So now we have this text kind of, it looks much better now, right? So it's not in the, it's not like colliding over each other. And then this section right here, our features, I want to make that just a little bit bigger. So right here, it's a heading 1 text. So that means we have to go to design, heading text, and I want to make this just a little bigger, maybe 70 pixels, and go to OK. Now, also I want to add in a background image to this. So right here, I'm going to click on the section setting, go to background, image, add an image, and let's just go ahead and find a background image. So I'm going to add this one in right here. Okay, so that's also looking pretty cool. Oh, it looks like this part right here, I forgot to save it. So right here, I'm going to do testimonials. No, I didn't save it. I just forgot to I forgot to add it in. You know, I was being distracted, and I want to add some space to here. You know, so right here, let's make some space. You know, let's push it down a little bit. You know, so we got some space going on right here. Now I also want to add in some testimonials, obviously. So right here, I'm gonna click on this and go to a 3-column row. Now, guys, you can add like a portfolio. You can add in basically anything you can want right here. So you can add in like an image, etc. You know, whatever you want. But just to help you all for tutorial purposes, I want to go ahead and use the testimonial right here. So author name. So I'm gonna put Darrel Wilson. Job, we'll do WordPress helper. Company name, I'll put my website. And then content, we can put it like a little bit about, you know, the person, or, you know, you can talk about yourself, or, you know, whatever you want to put. So I'll paste that right there. So we've added in that information. Now for the design, we can do icon quote. We can change the icon color. So we can put it like purple or something else. So you guys can see right there, it's purple. And then you can also have a background color as well. For the text, again, you can also change the text. So maybe you want to have it as like a dark or something else. But right here, I'm going to put it as light. And for the image, we can have our portrait with everything else. We can go ahead and you know, decorate the image, but we need to upload the image first. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and go back to, I believe it is our content right here, and go to image. And I'm going to select just like this guy right here. All right, so cool. We got that guy right there. Now, if you want to design the image, we can go ahead and you know, change this, and we can change the portrait height. I mean, you can get totally customizable with this section right here. So I'm going to add in like a box shadow right there. And you know, this stuff right here, I kind of don't want to, you know, I don't want to spend too much time with the blur and everything, because you guys by now understand the point of all that. So I'm not going to go too far into that. So going down here, we have the image border color. We can change that to, you know, any color we want. But you know, I don't want to use the image border color right now, because we'd have to add a border width, and I just choose not to have one right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and ignore that section. You guys can also like do like a little bit of Photoshop. So you see right here the image with the image saturation, the image hue, and all this stuff. You guys can get really, you know, the image brightness. So you guys can kind of like go through each one and kind of even control the photo. So if you guys want to, you know, edit the photo, you can do it right here instead of using Photoshop, because, you know, who likes Photoshop? You know, Photoshop is pretty annoying. And they have tons of different cool, like, you know, color burn or like exclusion or whatever you want to add. You know, they have tons of them. So you guys can have a really cool, fun time going through some of these and messing with some of them. Now for the body text right here, we can change the font. So maybe Open Sans, and I want it to do this in the center. And then we can even include the text size. We can make it a little bit bigger. Scrolling down here, again, we can change the body text color and everything else, but I might want to make this background purple. So if I wait a little bit, I can kind of, you know, decorate the background. And also for sizing, again, you guys control the width of it. You can make it a tiny testimonial or a very large testimonial. You can even make it very big. And for spacing, again, you guys understand margin and padding. So again, I can add in some margin, or we can, you know, add some padding, like, you know, 50, to kind of get you guys an idea of how that works. So, okay. And then also for border, you know, same thing, guys. So I don't want to go through these options again, just because we've gone through them sometime and you guys probably understand. This would be cool, pretty cool though. Maybe like a fold. to our section right here. And right here, you guys can control the options as well, okay? So also, let's go ahead and go to our, we'll go to our content. And right here, we can go to elements as well. We can choose to show the icon, and I want to show the icon. For background right here, I kind of want to change this to a specific purple color. So right here, I'm gonna click on this and maybe change this to something like purple. So you guys can get a better understanding of it. So guys, instead of actually having to redo this all over again, we've basically made our settings. So instead, we're just gonna go ahead and duplicate it and simply just drag and drop. Duplicate it and drag and drop. Okay. Now, one quick thing I want to do is maybe you want to add in like another text right here, like another text module, and then maybe put some more stuff about it because it looks a little clumped, something like this right here, and maybe add a little bit of padding, which is space between these sections right here. So right here, I'm gonna go to paste. Now it looks like that because the row right here is full width. So if we want to do that, we'll have to either reduce the width of the text, or we can just add it in a new section. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna add this in a new section because I don't want to have to do that all over again. So right here, I click on plus, one column row, and now here I can add the text. So one column, let's see right here. There we go, one, and then right here we'll add the text. Guys, there's no right or wrong way to do it. That's basically what I'm saying. So you can add it, you can add it in this right here and reduce the width of the text, or you can just make a whole new row. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and go to design and go to sizing. Now I can reduce the width right here to kind of control where I want it, and I can put it in the center like that to give it that kind of look, and then I can type whatever I want about it, etc. Now also for this section, we want to add some padding, right? These are too close to our text. So maybe right here, under the design, spacing, we can add some bottom padding to it. So we got maybe like 100 pixels. So you see how it's now creating space? All right. And also right here, maybe you want to add in that whole purple background that we have. So right here under background, I'm gonna go to my gradient and put in a color. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and put in these colors that I've been using right here. So it's, let's see right here. It's 9, 8, oh, it's already saved it for us, cool. And then also this color right here. Okay. Now, the reason why it's not showing is because we need to set the option for gradient over image. So going over here, we have place gradient above background image. If I click on yes, now you can see that the gradient will also go above the image, but we can't see the image because we might want to reduce the transparency here, right? So right here, I kind of want to reduce the transparency a little bit. And also for this color as well, reduce the transparency, but kind of give it that, that color, that hint of the color that we want to kind of accommodate the rest of our website. Okay, so I'm gonna click on X. Now I kind of want to show you guys how to add a little bit more design. I kind of want to do a little bit more of, I guess you want to say advanced work, because we can actually add designs behind these columns. So right here under the row settings, we have background. So right here we have background column 1, background column 2, and background column 3. So right here under background column 1, I'm gonna click on this right here and I'm going to add something here. So I can go ahead and make like a linear or, linear. And then right here, we can kind of change the direction, etc. And then, I'm not going to do place gradient above background. So basically I have this section right here. Now, how do I see it? So I want to be able to see what I'm doing right here. So under the design tab right here, under spacing, I want to go ahead and add in some padding right here. Maybe 25, just to give us some room. And now right here, I want to enter something like 30 pixels, and then 30 pixels, 30 pixels, and then 30 pixels. So basically what I'm doing, guys, is I'm shrinking this section right here. So now if you guys want, this is totally optional, but this is just another way how you guys can get more decor and design, is if you go to your background section, and now you can kind of start fiddling with these options to see how this would look, how decorative you can get with your website. So we can kind of like mess around like this. Then right here, maybe we can add in this like purple, but also kind of like reduce it. or you can kind of have like that split screen. You know, there is just so many ways you can design this, and I'm just trying to help you guys out by understanding that there's totally no option, or it's limitless on what you can do, guys. It's truly amazing. So right here, I'll enter in something like, I'll enter our code. We'll enter like let's see, we'll enter in our, go ahead and go to my code. Here, I'll enter in okay, and then maybe right here I can just like reduce the transparency like that, and then maybe even change the direction of this to kind of match like that, and voila. So we can go ahead and just do this for the next ones if you guys choose to have it, but I'm just trying to make you understand that there's so many different ways you guys can customize this and become better designers, because this is a really clean look, and yeah, guys, it's very easy to accomplish. So that is an example of how you can accomplish that section right here, where we added these backgrounds to it. Now, I'm not going to do it for the next two because you guys already know how to do it for these next two. So I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the next section. So this next section right here is our footer. Now, there is two ways you can do this, guys. You guys can make a custom footer, which is the one you saw, or you can actually make a footer that is basically standard with Divi. So I'll go ahead and give you guys an example. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and exit the visual builder. Right here, I'm going to go to my theme customizer. Now, it looks like my front page disappeared. I'll have to fix that. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. And right here, we have widgets. So widgets are basically our footer section. So footer area 1, we can add a widget. And what do you want to add down there? Well, maybe you want to add like a text. So maybe like about us, or, you know, about us. And then, you know, you can talk about your company, like we are an amazing company that helps people. So you guys understand what a footer is, right? So right here, I'm basically creating a bottom section. And this is kind of where plugins might come into play. So I'm going to go ahead and close this right now. And I'm going to go back to our dashboard. And right here, I'm going to go to plugins and go to add new. So guys, if you guys don't know what plugins are, they are basically added features for your website. So for example, let's say you want a Facebook like box. You would just type in Facebook like box, and then they give you a list of free plugins that you can use. Now, some of these have pro versions, which means you have to pay for an additional feature, but generally most of the ones on WordPress.org are free and they work pretty well. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and select this one right here, Facebook like box, widget like box, and go to activate. Now you can also use this on your footer, and you can also use it on your blog page. So we added in the widgets. So let's go ahead and go back to our website. And I'm gonna scroll down. Now right here, I'm gonna go to our theme customizer. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down again. I don't know what happened to my homepage. I think I deleted it on accident. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down and go to widgets and go to footer area, go to add a widget. And now if we scroll down right here, we can see our Facebook like box widget. And here you can do like follow us. And here you would go ahead and enter in your Facebook ID. So I'm gonna go to my Facebook really quick. I'm gonna go to my fan page. And I'm gonna take this link right here. So copy this and go over here and simply paste it in there. And of course you guys can control like the width, the height. So for example, you can make this a little bit bigger. And then right here, you can, adjust the height or something like that to kind of, give you more decoration. You can, you can hide the faces of it. You can, add additional stuff to it, etc. So that's basically an example of a plugin and the features it can do for your website. Now they also have Twitter feeds, they have Instagram, and guys, it's just a matter of kind of branching off and kind of understanding where to go. So for the dashboard right here under your plugins, you can go to add new and just simply type it in, Instagram. And this is basically where I kind of stop, because there's so many widgets out there, guys. I haven't tried all of these, but your best bet is to just install the one with the most like reviews and active installs, because generally that's usually what works and is probably the most successful. And whenever you install a plugin, they give like a little option right here, and you need to put in like your user ID, and then just go ahead and answer the questions. Like for instance right here, I can log in and get my access token ID. So you would just log in and then display your feed, and you would just display that short code. So you would copy and paste this short code. In fact, I'll go ahead and do it just this one time. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and log in and get my access token. So I got my access token. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Changes. All right, I'm going to use this token now. All right, and Save Changes again. I'm gonna go to Customize, and then here you can kind of customize it. But I'm gonna go ahead and go to my widget section, or my theme customizer section. And then scroll down right here. And then under our widgets, we have footer area 3. We can add a widget, and then simply go ahead and find the, where is it? It's here somewhere, the Instagram feed. Oh, you know what? It's an arbitrary text. So I have to add a text. And then right here, I'll put like follow us on Instagram. And then text, and then you would simply go ahead and paste that short code in the text section right here. So right here, I'm gonna go and paste that in. And then when you put your page, it would go ahead and show up right there. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and close it. And I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down, and voila, there you go. So all my stuff is authenticated. Now I might want to reduce the size of this Facebook box because it's kind of breaking in the way. So right here, I'll go to my theme customizer, and I'll just do that right now live in front of you guys. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and go to my widgets, footer 2, right here, and I want to adjust the width to maybe 200 pixels, so it's not colliding with that section. Okay, so that's an idea, guys, of how you can make a footer with the Divi theme. Now, we're gonna make a custom footer in just a little bit, but for right now, I don't want to make it as of right now because you guys kind of already understand the concept of a footer. I do want to actually fix my homepage here, so I'm actually going to do something really quick. I'm just going to go ahead and load this up right here and maybe just add a button really quick. And then voila, that's my new homepage. All right, so you guys were witnesses first. Maybe I changed something and I didn't really see it. You know, that happens to me all the time. And then right here, I'm going to go ahead and take this button and maybe drag it below there, and voila, there's a homepage, guys. So it's that easy to make homepages, you know. So that mistake, totally my fault, but you guys just witnessed how fast you can make a landing page with the Divi theme. In this next section, I want you guys to take a break. You know, you guys have been working hard for about an hour and a half, so I kind of want to show you guys some websites and give you guys some additional free resources to help you guys out. Now, if you guys need a logo, so something like this up here, and, you know, of course you don't want to use that one, you guys should definitely go to Fiverr.com. There is a link in the description of this video, and you guys can simply just type in like logo service or something like that, and these guys will make you like a logo for just $5. So they really help you out, and if you guys are on a budget, I would recommend this service, mainly for logo services. Let me see right here. Logo design. It's making me a liar, you know. It's like the site's down, it's not working. No, it works, guys. But like I said, these guys make some really nice logos. I got my logo from these guys, and they're pretty amazing. So if you guys need a logo, I recommend Fiverr for it. Again, there's a link in the description. If you guys do buy it, I get like 50 cents or something like that. But anyways, also, let's go ahead and talk about the Divi theme options. So we haven't really discussed the Divi theme options at all. So I'm just going to kind of run you guys through on the options. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and exit the visual builder. You guys don't have to follow me here. I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys an example of it. So right here, I'm going to go to my dashboard and go to Divi and go to theme options. So right here is where you can upload your logo. Now also you can upload a favicon. So what a favicon is that little thing up there. So for example, if I click on upload and just select, I'll just select this. You guys are going to see that on the top of the website. Once I save it, it will appear up there. Also my logo, I'm going to go ahead and just upload a logo. So I'll do set as logo. Fixed navigation bar, we'll talk about this a little bit. A lot of these option guys, I don't really personally use too much. Google API key, you will need this actually if you decide to have a Google Maps, but that's only if you decide to have it. These right here are for the footer. So on the bottom of the page, there's those tiny little Facebook icons and everything else. These are all enabled, but if you want to take those off, you can just say, I don't want it. If you do want them, you can leave them enabled, and then right here you'd put in your URLs for your website. These right here are for WooCommerce, so that's not for this tutorial. And like I said, a lot of these guys are just redundant, and this is custom CSS. We'll do custom CSS, guys, toward the end of the tutorial because custom CSS is a little bit more advanced. It's not needed, but if you want to add like extra stuff to your website, it may be, it may be nice to have, but you don't need to know it. Navigation, I don't use any of this stuff. So like I said, you don't really need to, you can actually exclude things from the navigation bar, but I don't know why you would do that because then you can just delete it from your menu, right? But there's still other options in here that you might want to use. So be sure just to check some of these out. Again, I don't really, use these too much just because they're not really needed except for something like the updates. That would be needed. So if you want updates, you'd put your username and API key there, and then you can go ahead and kind of mess around. Also, let's go ahead and talk about the theme customizer. So you guys can just sit back, relax, get your favorite beer. I don't know why the testimonials is there. It's there somewhere. I got to go and delete it. Right here is like your general settings, like your site identity. Now, a lot of this stuff, guys, isn't really needed because this stuff right here can be overridden by like the actual Divi builder. But really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and delete that testimonials. That is really bothering me. So I'm going to go ahead and go to visit site and enable this visual builder. Oh, also, I didn't really talk about this other setting. So let's say, for example, we can't find the testimonial section. It disappeared. Maybe the text is white or something like that. So right here, over this section right here, I can click right there. Now I have this row right here. So that row will actually be where the testimonial section is coming from. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and click on delete. And you can actually check all the modules right here so we can kind of find out where that is coming from. So right here, can't really find it. Okay. And then button, same thing. So that's basically what that option is. It's pretty cool. They also have like additional settings, total, like I said, guys, this is a little bit more advanced. You guys kind of don't need to use this stuff too much. So, but if you guys, would like to, mess with it, then you're more than welcome to. Also, guys, if you want to see how your site looks on mobile, then you guys would go ahead and check those settings. So I'm gonna click right here and go click on this right here, or go back to our menu, and then right here, I'm gonna go and add these again really quick. Okay. So right here, this is how it looks like on a desktop. I'm sorry, on the tablets. And of course, we have not optimized it yet for mobile. And we'll get to mobile optimization in just a little bit. But mobile optimization, guys, is really simple. So I know it looks like, oh my gosh, it looks all clumped up. But literally, I can change this in a few seconds. So right here, under our features for the design, for spacing. No, I'm sorry, the text size. This is a paragraph, so text. So right here, whenever you make changes, guys, for your text size, you would click on this little icon right here and go to tablets, and then simply just change how it looks on tablet. And then also do the same thing for smartphone. You would just reduce the size. So it's that easy to optimize your website for mobile. And guys, it's very important to optimize it for mobile because that's like half the traffic now, I think. So it's pretty important. And let's say, for example, this part right here, this picture right here, it's beautiful, right? But we don't really need it for mobile. We don't really need to show people this for mobile. So right here, under this gear icon, I can go ahead and scroll down and go to, I believe it is the background or the admin panel. Let's see right here. For the design, we have our alignment. I can scroll down, and I'm going to go to, or not scroll down, I'm going to go to advanced and go to visibility. Now, I don't want this to show up on phones or tablets because it's just not needed. I don't really need to show this huge image for mobile users, right? So if I click on check, and that is basically it. That image will not show up on mobile, so it's a little bit more optimized. And also the same thing right here again. So guys, mobile optimization is really simple. It's just a matter of doing it. So right here, you click on that, design, you would go to the text, and then again, when you click on the font, this little phone right here, you would just go ahead and say, okay, I want it this size for the tablets, and then for the smartphone, I want it this size because it's way too big. And also, guys, you can even go to advanced and just visibility and just get rid of it if you don't want it. So that's just a quick little rundown of mobile optimization. We'll optimize this whole site, but I'm just kind of giving you guys a small brief overview of everything. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. or I'm gonna exit the visual builder. There we go. Now, another thing I want to show you guys is my channel, because there's tons of great tutorials that I have that can be covered. A lot of people ask me questions regarding stuff like different plugins or other things. Like for example, the newest one I had was a Google AdSense. So if you guys want to learn how to add Google AdSense, I have a tutorial for that. If you guys want to learn how to use the Slider Revolution, I have a tutorial for that. I have tons of tutorials for everything, but this is a comprehensive Divi theme tutorial. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back here, guys, and let's go ahead and go through the theme customizer just a little bit more, just to give you guys an idea of what a theme customizer is. So like we have buttons right here. Now you guys can change everything globally. I personally don't like to do that because I rather just change it here and not have to do it again or do it over here, because this will apply to the entire theme. Also for header navigation, you guys can go ahead and choose to change like your menu up here. So we have the primary menu bar, and here you can totally customize the menu. So you can make it bigger. You can change the max logo height. So maybe I want it really big. And then right here, we can change the font and everything else. Now, I've pretty much showed you guys these options, but I want to show you one in particular, which is the background color. So if you want that transparent look, you just reduce the transparency. And then right here, we have a transparent menu. And then up here, you guys can change like the drop-down menu text color. You can change the fonts. You can change the text size for your menu. See how it's getting bigger. So these are basically the options to control the menu. And again, you guys can hide the logo image and even make this full width like that to make it look a little bit more elegant. But again, guys, font and, people truly buy your website just based off position of color and images. It's really true. People don't really care about your product. But if they come to a website that looks like this, where they feel elegant just to shop on it, you're kind of just like, man, people go to Apple and they go to buy an iPhone and they feel classy because the website is so well designed. They feel like a high-class customer, I guess you can say, by saying, hey, man, this site's really nice. I'm going to buy something from this site. And that's really the human brain when it comes to buying stuff online. If it looks beautiful and amazing, they'll buy it. If it looks like crap, they're just going to leave, guys. You have about 5 seconds to convince someone to stay on your websites. Now, this is the secondary menu bar. So again, you guys can go ahead and change the secondary menu bar as well. Again, I don't want to get too much into the secondary menu bar, but I'm going to go ahead and keep showing you guys some of these options, like header format. Here you can change the logo. You can make it centered. You can even add a vertical navigation. You can put it also on the right side. And we can do like center align with logo. See, that looks pretty neat, And then here we have like a slide in. We have a full screen. So, you guys get the idea. So the secondary menu again, guys, it would control, or I'm sorry, the slide in full screen, you would control that right here. So the option comes up right there as well, okay? But I think maybe we should leave it, I don't know, it looks good. I think the center kind of looks good. That really does look good. But again, it would probably push your stuff down a little bit, so just keep that in mind. And going over here, we have header elements. You can choose to show social icons and then add in like a phone and email, so you can add that right there. It'll appear up there a little bit later. Going back here, fixed navigation. You can hide the logo image, but that's when you scroll down. So you can hide it when you scroll down. See that? So the fixed navigation settings, guys, is when people scroll down. I'm sure you've seen on some websites where if you scroll down, the menu will do something different. So that's basically what that is. So header navigation. We have blog or buttons. We have footer. I ran you guys through the footer. You guys can also change the layouts of the footer by going to layout, and then you guys can add different columns. You can change the color right here to something that you would like. Going back here, bottom bar, mobile. You guys basically already know that Divi has their own mobile optimization, so we don't need to. They're just basically showing you what you can do, But I would rather optimize it by each module because you have more control over it. Menus, we already created our menu. If you want to add a menu, you would do it right here. Widgets, you guys understand widgets. Homepage settings, you guys totally understand homepage settings. CSS, we'll do a little bit later. But in a nutshell, guys, that is basically the theme customizer settings for Divi. Now, I actually want to show you guys, okay, you see how we have that little bar up there? That's like the secondary menu where we added the phone number and everything else. So remember I told you guys it was going to appear? So there it is. It kind of takes time for that one to appear. You have to like close it and open it again. Now, I want you guys to go to my website right here. And I specifically made a Divi footer just for this tutorial, and it's for free. So I don't charge for anything. So right here, elegance, that is the Divi footer. So I'm not going to make you guys build this from scratch right here. I'm actually just going to give it to you guys away for free. So going down here, you guys will go to my website. You guys would add this to the cart. All right, and then right here, I gotta fix that. So view to cart, I gotta kind of, yeah, see, I need website help too. So view the cart, and then here you go to proceed to checkout. It's free, and then once you guys are done putting in your name and email, you can place the order, and then from there you can go ahead and download it. So there is the footer right there. So you just need to download that and unzip it. Now let's go ahead and go back to the tutorial. Now guys, we're gonna go ahead and do the home page. We're going to do the About Us page. I'm going to show you the blog. I'm actually going to give you a free layout for the services page to kind of help you do some homework. So I'm going to actually give you the services page to kind of help you understand how I did the services page, and you guys can kind of mess around with it, kind of look at like, you know, some of the settings I've done to sort of help you guys understand. But once you guys do like the home, the about, and the contact, I think you guys will be on your way. But one thing I want to point out is make sure to keep watching this tutorial all the way to the end, because I've been doing this for a few years and I know people jump ahead and then they have questions. They're saying, hey, this isn't working for me, or hey, this doesn't work. And I says, it's in the tutorial. You just got to watch it, you know? So make sure to please stay till the end to watch that. Now, I want to go ahead and upload that footer that I downloaded. So once you download it, you guys can go to your dashboard and go to Divi and go to Divi Library. And guys, Divi Library is amazing. You can import and export layouts. So right here, I'm gonna go to import, choose the file, and I'm gonna go to my desktop, and I'm gonna go to footer right here. And I'm going to import this right here. So I'm basically just going to import that layout. Now guys, whenever you save a page, you can actually export that layout and throw it onto a different part of your websites. So like we did earlier with, you know, adding to the library, you can actually export entire pages and import them to different parts of your pages. So I'll have more information about that when we talk about templates and Divi Library and all that stuff, because I have tons of free goodies for you guys a little bit later. So I'm gonna go over here to my site now, and I'm going to enable the visual builder. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down right here. Now right here, I'm gonna go ahead and click on this plus. I believe it's add from library, and then there it is. We have footer. And voila. So now we have this footer. Now I kind of want you guys to understand what's going on here. So this right here is just a text module, right? We don't need to show you that again. This right here is a text module, and instead I just created buttons, and then I just made text, and I basically just made those link to those specific pages. Just like we did earlier where we linked this part right here to the website, we're gonna do that on our footer. So it's just a more creative way to do a footer. So for example, you can have this standard one, which is less customizable, or you can have this one right here. Now this section right here is an email opt-in setting. So basically you can actually connect your email subscriptions to this plugin, this module, and then from there you can actually you know, get people's emails and, you know, all that good stuff. So right here you would just type in like, you know, button text, we have subscribe, you can add in your media, and then your email account right here. You would select your provider. So I'm MailChimp, you know, I use MailChimp. And then from there, you would select the list once you connect it. Okay, so they have tons of service providers, and then right there, you'd go to add, and then you would have to add in your API key to your provider. Okay, now I really can't go in depth into that because I don't know your provider, so it'd be hard for me to do. I mean, I have a MailChimp tutorial, but there's so many providers out there, it's very difficult for me to kind of go on. For example, fields, you know, you guys can choose to have fields like a first name, last name, but I think just the email is fine. And then a success action. So once they subscribe, what do you want it to say? Well, I want to say success. So you guys can kind of understand it. And then right here, result message button. And you can change like the font, the color, everything about when it says success. So there's just tons of ways you guys can customize all these settings, okay? So I'm giving you this footer for free just because I want to help you guys out. And you know, I don't want to, you know, have to do text module because you guys totally get it by now with text and heading text and everything else. So it's all about being creative, guys. So again, you know, we made this for, you know, just for my viewers, and I think that this will really help you guys out in the long run because it's a really clean footer. It looks really nice. So that is basically a quick rundown of how to import products and also how to add a customizable footer. Now again, we can go to the footer section in our theme customizer and disable this, but I'll just leave it up just for tutorial purposes. Okay, so let's go ahead now and do our About Us page. So stay with me, guys, because we're gonna do the About Us page, and then I'm going to talk about the blog and the contact, which are going to be really fast, and then I'm going to actually give you guys a copy of the services page. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with our About Us page. Now guys, this section is actually going to be really quick because we actually have a lot of the stuff that we already need, so we don't need to really redesign a lot of stuff. Now right here, I want to click on this, and I want to click on this little icon right here. So I want to have 2 sections. Now I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide which section you guys want. It's because I kind of want you guys to understand what we're doing here. So add a new row, add from library, and I want to do header section. So now you guys can see right here, I'll give you guys a better look of it. It's right here. We have this section right here. Now I can go ahead and drag this stuff up here. So for example, let's go ahead and use this section to kind of help you guys understand how to use this builder. So right here, I'm gonna delete this. I want to take this text and I want to drag it up there. And I want to take this text and I also want to drag it up there as well. And I don't really need this row anymore. So you guys see what I did there? I basically made a 2-column row, but I exported the one and I just used the content from it. Now let's go ahead and see what it looks like right here. So right here, you guys can see we have the text now, and you guys can add it to the left side or the right side. Now I want to make this full width. So design, spacing, or sizing, sorry spacing, same thing. Make this row full width. Now this right here is a little bit too big. So we need to kind of reduce it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my text, and I'm going to actually just reduce this a little bit so it's not kind of like, it's not crashing onto everything. Let me do that one more time. Design text. I'm gonna go ahead and just reduce it like this. Okay, and then this section right here, I just want to put like features. So I'm just gonna put features, and I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. So this right here was our heading 1, heading text, and then I'm gonna go scroll down, and I'm gonna go ahead and add it in like that. And again, I can also add in a little bit of margin to kind of push it up to kind of give it that effect. So I hope you guys know how to do that by now. So I'm gonna go to close this, go to spacing, and then we can go ahead and add some margin. So I believe it's 10 pixels. Oh, sorry, we're gonna add it, let's see, is it? Oh, other way, guys, so sorry. So it's gonna be negative. So negative, maybe like 50, or maybe 25. Nah, maybe 40. Okay, and then right here, I can also add in a background. And I'm just gonna go ahead and select something like that. And then I kind of want to add that gradient overlay as well. So I kind of want to select those colors that I've kind of been using. We want to be consistent. And guys, we can actually save this part so we can use this for the services, the blog, and the contact, so we don't have to recreate that section anymore. So the library, guys, is really cool, and it's going to save you a ton of time. So 916E8. And then right here, you can kind of control the transparency of it. And then right here, we're going to go ahead and do the other one. Now, it's not showing because we have to set that on the option to show. So here, and I want to kind of reduce the transparency a bit. So we're going to go ahead and go to scrolling down here. And then right here, place gradient above background. So we have that beautiful look right there. So you guys can kind of, you guys can change it to probably white. White would probably be a little bit better. So maybe we want to kind of make this a little bit more darker and then change the text to something like white. Okay, so then here, let's change the text to white. And, we have to be, very, I guess you want to say, accurate, because we're going to actually use this on different parts of our other pages. So let me see right here what text it was. It was a heading text. So heading text, and then I just want to change this color to white. And then we can change that one, or you can leave it. It's really up to you if you want to have that look, or you can kind of go for, it's all about your design and style. If you like that look, you can keep it, or you can add that white section to it. Okay, so let's go ahead now and make this section right here. And again, we already have what we need. So right here, I'm gonna click on plus, regular, single row, and I think we have to go to section right there. No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. So we're gonna go to this teal icon, add from library, and go to header section. and I'm going to delete this. So you have to kind of like load that other one because that's the only way to kind of make it work. And I want to make some padding here. Let's push this down a little bit. So we have features, but instead you can do like a team, and then I put let's introduce. So right here, I'm going to put team, and then right here, I'm going to change this to let's introduce. Let's introduce. And then right here, again, we can go ahead and add a 3-column row, and we're going to add profiles. So we can either do it right here, or we can make a whole new section. So I hope you guys know that, understand. So if I add this part controls it still. And we kind of want to do that because I'm going to add a background to it. So right here, 3. And let's go and look for a profile. So now we're going to look for profile. We have a bunch of them. Or we can do person. I think person is the one we look for. Yep, person is the right one. Then right here, I'll put Darrel Wilson. Then right here, we'll put something like owner at darrelwilson.com. And then right here, I can put my social links. I'm just putting little signs just because I don't want to, put a lot of info. I don't want to like give you guys, not that, I just don't want to put a lot of it. I don't want to overdo it. There's no reason to go manually do everything, So paste that. All right. And then for the image, I'm gonna go ahead and select, you'll be Darrel today. This guy right here. Do not like that haircut though. And then for background, we can go ahead and just leave it for now. For the design right here, for the icon, again, you can change the icon's color. So, and we can add purple because that's kind of like our scheme right now. Close that. Image, you guys can kind of decorate the image if you guys want. Yeah, it's kind of cool because my last tutorial, I had to actually manually enter CSS, but with the new Divi theme, you don't need to do that no more. It's all included inside of it, so it's pretty cool. So title text, we can change this to something like open sans, and then we can change this to like semi-bold, and then we can align it in the center, which is cool because before you would need CSS. And again, guys, these options are a little redundant. So again, text, text size, if you want to make it bigger, etc. So you guys can kind of understand this because we've gone over this a few times. So I'm not going to go over that again. Body text, I do want to align it in the center like that, or we can have it like justified, or however you guys want to align it. And then right here we can kind of, that's too big. I think that's good. Really quickly, let's go ahead and do design again, and body text, we leave that, sliding spaces. You can add a border to it. So if you guys want to add a border, you can add like a 4-pixel border around it, and then we have to give it like a color, something like that. So over here, I basically just added a box shadow with a small purple shadow around that. So that's basically how I accomplished that section. So again, right here under border, I can actually go ahead and just delete that, but that'll just give you an example. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and take that out because I want to add a box shadow. I want to make it like a little bit more elegant. Box shadow, again, we can go ahead and add that. And, we can, change the way this looks. We can kind of give it some emphasis, see that? And then vertical position, change that. The shadow color, I put it as like a purple color. So you guys can see now it has that purple color. And then we can change like the inner position or outer shadow, something like that right there. So kind of like that is what we're going for right there. So basically, the only thing that we need to do here is just maybe just add some padding. So for the spacing right here, you can add some top padding and then some bottom padding. Maybe even some right padding. Let's add 10 to each. Okay. Now again, guys, I'm lazy, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy these because there's no reason to do this all over again because we've done all the settings for it already. All you need to do now is just go ahead and change the images, and you are all set for this section. So that's the person module. So scrolling down here, now we also have a background. So right here, I'm gonna go to our background, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert a background image. So right here, I use this one right here. And I want to actually do the middle section. So center right, and then I want to do to actual size, something like that. So you guys can see it really adds the core. Just little things like that just really make your site look stunning. It truly does. And right here we have the let's introduce or the partners section. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and add that, add from library, and do header section again. So pretty simple. And then let's go ahead and add some padding to this right here. So we can actually, add padding by just dragging this. So right here, I just saw it. There we go. We can just go ahead and push it down like that instead of having to actually, adding it in, typing it in manually. So we can do it like that. And right here, we just have a bunch of images. So I just basically made an image module. So we have 3 image modules. So right here, click on this, and I'm gonna select the images. So image, click on that, select this. Images are always good, guys. Like our team or our features, it's half of the websites that have them are totally fake, but that's just what people do in the industry. They're like, oh yeah, these are my partners, or these are people we work with. And I was like, no, you don't. You don't work with these people. You're just saying that. But also right here, we're gonna do image, and right here, I'm gonna select this last one right here. So now we need to add the images below that. So we can do that by just making a new row, or we can add it below here inside the row. We can add another 2 right there, but I'm just gonna go ahead and make a new row right here. So right here, I'm gonna click on this plus icon and click on this. And I'm gonna go ahead and select an image model, image. Select it, and then we have this one right here. Now, right here, we can kind of manipulate this a little bit. So right here, I'm gonna click on this image, and we can actually click on these 4. Now, we don't have to use all 4, but we can just drag it in there like that. So we don't have to, we don't have to use it the way it's designed. I'm just giving you guys examples on how you can kind of manipulate it to do what you want. So here, I'm gonna add another image and simply go ahead and select this one right here like that. So as a result, we have that look right there. Okay. And scrolling down, we're gonna go ahead and do this next section, which this is actually a slider. Now, guys, you can actually use this for your landing page. So all we really did here was just make a slider, and we just made a transparent background. We added a gradient button, and then we just added some slides to it. So let's get started with that one. So right here, I'm gonna click on plus, regular, click on that, and add a slider module. Slider, let's see, I think I passed it. You know what, if you guys can't find it, this happens to me all the time, just type it in, make life way easier, slider. And then right here, we can make our slide. So welcome to Divi, and the button text would be like learn more. And then right here, you can go ahead and add in some text right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just copy and paste this dummy text. I don't want to take that though. You guys can see we have the slider already right there. And then we would put the link. So if you want to add it to link, you would add it there. For background, I kind of want to make this background transparent. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I'm going to give it a white color, but I'm just going to reduce the transparency there. Okay, so right now you guys can kind of see it. All right. For the design, we can add an overlay to it. You guys can add like a background overlay. You guys can kind of decorate the overlay as well. And again, you would need to reduce the transparency here to kind of, get an understanding of it. Also, you can even add a text overlay. So if you want to add a text overlay, you guys can do that as well. So by going over here, let's say you want like a purple text overlay, and then you can kind of reduce it like that as well to kind of give it that effect right there. So that looks really ugly, but I'm just giving you guys an example of how you can add text overlays and also background overlays. So right here we have navigation. You can choose to have arrows for your slides. Now, if you only have one slide, it's not going to show up. So you need to have more than one slide. So I'll show you how to add an additional slide. In fact, we're just going to duplicate it. So for the alignment right here, we can have it center or we can have it bottom. So slide image. Oh yeah, we have to add an image for it. So image, we need to go ahead and add an image for you guys to see what that looks like. So right here under contents, we're going to go to image, a slide image, and I'll just put this phone right here just to give you guys an example of it. So right here we have this phone. Now, guys, this is just for tutorial purposes. So I know it doesn't look that good, but I'm just basically explaining to you what the options are. So we can have this image on the bottom, or we can even have it like on the center. And you guys might want to use a bigger image than that one. That one is probably a very bad example. So let me just go ahead and give you guys an example of something a little bit bigger to help you guys understand what I'm talking about. Something like that, Now the text is a little bit too big, so you might want to make the text a little bit smaller. but that's just giving you an idea of something you guys can use for that. So if you want to like, present something or make it look good, that's basically how you do it. Image right here, you guys can actually change the image on how it looks. So you guys can get really customizable. It's kind of hard because it actually refreshes. So you have to kind of, it's really not the best to do that. So you might want to edit this image like outside of the slider module. And then once you know your settings, you can kind of drag it. But you can, add, I think it's called sepia. So you kind of change the way it looks, etc., or the opacity of it. And there's tons of other tutorials that Elegant Themes has introduced to really get the most out of your slider. Now right here we have title text. So here I might want to make this bold, or let's do this light. And then we can go ahead and move the text alignments to make it look a little bit better. We can just use the regular text. This section right here would just control the regular text inside the content. So it would control this section right here. But this section right here, we might need to change to just a regular paragraph. Okay, like that. So that's basically how the slider could look. So welcome to Divi, etc. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add in a background over this entire section right here to help you guys understand what I'm trying to achieve. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and click on this. Background. We can add a background image, such as this one right here. And then right here, we can go ahead and even add in we can add in an overlay to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in a background to this. And again, I'm gonna head and enter in I'll just enter in these ones. I'll just grab these really quick. I'll just take a gamble. We'll pick. Okay, and then from there, we can kind of do that. Now remember, to get this to work, you must click on this option right here, and that will basically give you that transparent slider. And again, guys, you can totally angle these directions. Again, you can even make a split screen effect with this as well. So there's a lot of options that you guys can kind of manipulate and do with this. Now that object right there, or that looks really ugly now. So let's just go ahead and delete the image. I personally don't like images on my slider, not unless like I have to really, really change them up and make them, special for the slider, because by default, I just don't like it. And as a result right here, we have this transparent slider like this. And let's say you want to add in another slider. You can just duplicate it. And now you guys can see we have the arrows and we also have this. So if you want to edit that slide, you can go ahead and go to design and have fun with this right here. Now guys, a lot of these settings are redundant. So right here for the button, choosing the custom style, we're basically going to decorate the button again. So this is where you would decorate the button. And then again, we can add in that, that gradient effect, to it. Or if you don't want the gradient, you don't have to. Going back over here, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Spacing, again, we can add some spacing to it. But again, I think that's, I think the regular options are probably the best. And again, you guys can add in some of the other stuff right here. So that's basically an example of how you can add a transparent slider. So we have this slide right here. I reduced the transparency of the slider and I just basically added a gradient background. And again, you can do the same thing here. It's just different colors. And that's basically it. So it's just virtually different colors and different gradient, because I chose a really aggressive towards our style. You guys can see that, Let's see if we can change that up. Let's see. So here again, we can change it so you can radial, or centered, top left. You guys get the idea, So it's just really all about creativity at this point. So, we can kind of, that's a pretty cool landing page like that. We'll leave it like that. That's it. But I'm just giving you guys an idea of how you guys can design the slider. And then, the other options are all the same. Okay. So that's basically how you guys create a slider and also create a transparent slider. So next, we have just a simple call to action. So call to actions, guys, are probably one of the most important parts of your website. For example, if you go to my website up here and you go to my homepage, I have tons of call to actions because we want to direct people to go to certain parts. So a call to action right here, scrolling down, I have another call to action right here, testimonials, and I have another call to action right here. Okay, so having call to actions on your website is very important, and I highly recommend it because you really want to tell your audience where to go on your website. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new section, and I'm going to add a regular section and just a simple section. Now right here, I'm add a call to action. So right here, I'm gonna like ready to talk. And then we do like something like call us. And then right here, I'm gonna go to my secret website and just simply grab some dummy text right here. So right here, I'm just gonna put some dummy text. And then link. So right here, it would be the website or the page you want them to go to. Now, if you guys don't know how to link people to different parts of your website, I'm gonna show you really quickly. So right here, I'm gonna go to save. So we have call us, right? And let's say, for example, you wanna take this to your contact page. Well, I'm gonna click on my contact page right here. I'm going to copy this. I'm gonna go back to our About Us page and simply just go ahead and insert that link right there. So that's basically how you guys can, all you gotta do is just copy and paste the link from whatever page and then just add it in right there, the URL. So for example, link, you're just gonna go ahead and copy and paste that. So if they click on that, now they're going to our contact us page. For the background, I kinda don't want anything there. So I'm not going to use the background color. And then also for our design, for our text, we kind of need to change it to dark because we really can't see what we're doing without it. And right here, we can kind of, be a little bit more decorative. We can change like the shadow again and all that stuff. So you guys basically know the title text. We can go ahead and change this to something like Open Sans, or I think Lato is a good one. So right here, let's try Lato. Lato is a good one. And then, you guys can, center align the text or wherever you want it. Title text color, we can go ahead and change that as well. Or we can add in like a box shadow to it, or a title text shadow, etc. So I'm not going to go too far into these options. So right here, for body text again, we can change this to something like Lato and center align, right align, justify it, center, etc. Scrolling down, we can change these options. Now for the button, we can choose to have custom like a button text color. So maybe you want the text color to be something like white. And then the button background color, you can change that to whatever color you'd want. So I was using like that gradient color. So right here, I was using like that purple color. And then for my secondary color, I choose like a bluish color. So I'll just do that just because it's, it's quick and easy. Quick and easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think that's about it for this section. For border width, we can, change the border width. We can change the radius to make it circular, etc. But I'm not going to go too far into the button because we've already designed a button before. And we can add a border around this, so maybe like a, 10 pixel, like a border to it, etc. And then right here, you can go ahead and give this border like a color or something. But I'm not really going to do that. I'm actually going to do something else in a little bit that's going to be a little bit more creative than that. A box shadow, we might want to add a box shadow to this to kind of emphasize it. And then, we can kind of go through these and, take a look. But they have so many animations, but or options, but I'm just going to go ahead and just keep going. So here, I'm just going to enter that. So now I kind of want to change the actual size of this whole module. It's too long, it's too big. I want it to be just a little bit smaller. So right here under row settings, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go to design, and we're going to go to sizing. Now under custom width right here, I want to turn that on and basically enable this to how big I want it. So right here, I would say this is right here a comfortable, a comfortable size. So I'm gonna click on check. Now guys, I wanna be a little bit more creative. I wanna kind of add just a little bit more to this. I don't wanna leave it, it looks a little naked. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this right here and add a divider. All right, now look, we cannot see what we're doing. We can't see the divider. That's where this option comes in. So over here, we're gonna click on this. And now we're gonna kind of work right here, because guys, the divider is so small, it's very hard for the theme to kind of control it. So right here, I'm gonna take the divider and drag it above the call to action. I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna add a background. We're gonna add let's add a purple background color. You can add like a gradient, or something like that, but it's up to you, but I'm just giving you guys like an idea. So right there, we added a color to it. Now for the design, under the sizing, I wanna make it really small. I wanna make the height really small, but just enough so people can kind of barely see it. And I'm gonna show you what happens when we do all this. So I added the divider, I gave it a purple color and a very small height. And when I go back to our website right here, you guys can now see that it basically acts as a top border color. So it's just a creative way to kind of create a call to action, just like we have right here. The only difference here is just the text and the color, but the actual modules are the same exact modules that I used for that layout, okay? So, I'm just trying to help you guys with inspiration and ideas to kind of really help you guys get creative with your websites. So here I'm gonna go ahead and save it. And guys, we're done. We are done with the About Us page. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the blog section. Now let's just take a look at our website. It is really professional. It looks really good. And for a beginner that makes this, I gotta be honest, you guys are light years ahead of people who are trying to do it themselves, because my first website was so terrible. It was so ugly. Now, really quickly, before we move on to the blog section, I want to go ahead and actually go to our About section, and I want to copy this top part right here because I want to bring this to different parts of our website. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and enable the visual builder, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this right here and save this section and do like header for pages. So now we can use this part for different parts of our website. And I'm gonna go ahead and save it. I don't know if you need to save it when you export it, but I just do it just in case. I'm not really sure. I don't wanna have to do it all over again. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and go to enable the visual builder. And guys, blog pages are really easy, really, really quick. So we're gonna go ahead and click on this plus right here and go to add from library and go to header for pages. So now you guys can see we have our header already done and ready. And I can simply drag it up, or we can just go ahead and delete that other section and voila. Now we have the section ready for our next part. And right here, we just type in blog, and then right here, we can type in something like, blog, something simple, right? And then right here, I'm click on plus, click on regular, click on this icon, and we're gonna enter a blog module. Now the blog is gonna be empty because we don't have any blog posts. So guys, making blog posts is really, really simple. So let's say you wanna be a blogger, we're gonna go to plus new and go to post. So just like you create pages or whatever, this is where you're gonna put your article in. So over here, I have my blog page, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just copy everything. So I'm just gonna give you guys an idea of what you guys can do. Now guys, there's two ways you can make blog pages. You can make it with the Divi Builder, or you can make it without the Divi Builder. So for example, the best shaver for Christmas. And then right here, I can just paste this. And then right here, you can create a category for it. So maybe you wanna have like things to buy. And then I wanna set a featured image for it. And a featured image, guys, is important because this is the thing people are going to see when they look at your post. And then I think that's about it. So right here, we can click on publish. All right, so we made one blog post. Now let's just go ahead and make one more, but I'm just going to show you how you can use the Divi Builder for it instead. So right here, I'm gonna put the best iPhone to get. That's pretty easy. It's probably the newest one, but I've heard that they were kind of messing around with their older phones or whatever. So here, we are gonna use the Divi Builder instead. So load from library. And they have like some templates that you guys can use, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just do like something simple. Like I'm just gonna add the text one, I think. So here, I'm just gonna do a page full width. A page full width. So it has some modules right here already set, and I'm going to publish this. So right here, I'm just gonna click on publish. I'll make a new category. So the coolest things. Add a new category, and I'll set a featured image for it. Now guys, for other themes, you really can't decorate your blog post. So it's kind of frustrating, but with the Divi theme, you can basically use the Divi Builder and all of its modules to actually add on your blog post. So let's say you want to view this post. I'm gonna go to view post, and there you go. So there's the blog post, and this is one of the modules that we use. And this is just like a template, guys. So it's pretty self-explanatory. So let's go back to our blog, and then right here, we have an image, and then we have the product. So guys, this is a little bit too big. So let's go ahead and edit the actual blog module itself to basically show what we want it to, because quite honestly, that's pretty ugly. So right here, we have like the post number. So how many post numbers do you want it to display? You can also make it set certain categories only. So let's say, for example, this blog post or this blog page, you only want to show the coolest things, then you would go ahead and select it, okay? And again, you can show excerpt, meaning like you can show like the actual like the content from it. So excerpt would be like that stuff right there. And you can show a certain amount of excerpt, so like 200 words of the article or whatever you want to add, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and go back. It's being a little glitchy there, but that's okay. So for the design, we have layouts. Now we have full width and we have grid. Now I am a fan of grid. I think grid is much more nicer and much more cleaner than the standard way. So also for overlay, you can add like an image overlay, a featured image overlay. You can add an overlay icon color, and also you can add a hover color over when they hover over it. You can go ahead and give that color right there, so you can see it's that color. So you guys can get maybe kind of match it to your scheme of your website. So here we have like a purple scheme going. You can go ahead and add it as well right there. Okay. So there's other things you guys can do with it. A lot of these are redundant. So again, like for the title text, do you want to change the font for the title text? You can change the font for each specific one. And again, you can like align it, and it's really helpful because before you used to put a lot of CSS for this section, but they've actually improved their blog section. So now you can basically add all these features to this section right here, or to your blog post as well. Maybe add a box shadow to it. There we go. So that looks pretty clean already. So it's really just small things, guys, that can make your blog look truly amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this and click on save. All right, and now exit the visual builder. So now if we just go ahead and look at it, we can do like best iPhone to get. And if they click on it, they'll be taken to that page. And then also right here, we have this section right here. Now, if you guys want to monetize your blog, there is a link in the description of this video. It will show you how to monetize your blog for free. And also for those of you who want to add like the Facebook widgets right here and handle all this stuff, let's go and do that right now. So right here under widgets, we have the sidebar. So basically you can add different stuff. So you can add a search bar, recent posts, you can add recent comments, but I'm gonna go ahead and delete all this stuff. Who needs archives? Who needs meta? What is all this? We're gonna delete all this junk. This is all junk right here. Now right here, we can go ahead and add like the Facebook like box that we had before. And then right here, you would enter in your page. You can enter in like an advertisement, an image. There's all sorts of really cool stuff you can add. A lot of these you can add like a plugins, for Instagram or for Twitter, and you can actually show it on your posts. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my Facebook again. Go to my messages or my page. It's really embarrassing when people message me during my tutorials. It happened last time. Some guy's like, "Hey, bro, like I'm dating this girl," and I'm like, "Dude, like I'm doing a tutorial, like, follow us." Save. I'm gonna go ahead and close that before someone really messages me. So done right there. And let's go ahead and take a look at it now. So let's go ahead and visit the website. Go to our blog and click on any of these posts. It doesn't matter which post because it's all going to show up. And then right there, you'd have the widget right there. So again, we can modify it. Remember, we can change like the height and the width and everything. So on your free time, you might want to do that. But basically, that's a quick nutshell of the blog section. Pretty simple, right? It's pretty easy, And this right here is your sample one. So right here, you can go to your dashboard and you can go to your posts right here. And these are all your posts. So let's say I don't want Hello World. I'm going to trash that one. So now that's not going to show up on my blog post anymore. So right here, blog, and then voila, it is gone. All right. So that was the blog page, guys. Pretty simple. Let's go ahead and move on to the contact section now. All right, so let's go ahead now and make our contact page. So right here, I'm gonna click on Enable Visual Builder. And right here, I'm actually going to click on this and we're going to add from library because we already have the header for our website. So right here, I'm gonna take this and we can just drag this on top. And then just go ahead and we can just delete this section. So right here, you might wanna change this to something like about or our contact, right? So contact. Yeah, that's ugly. We gotta do, there we go. And then right here, we're gonna go ahead and move that. So features. Now you guys can also put this on the other side. So it really depends on what side you want it on. So if you want it on this other side, you can go ahead and just drag it. And then also you can just go ahead and drag that over there as well to give it that effect. So if you guys wanna have it on that side, you can do that. But I'm just giving you an example of how you just drag and drop. So next, let's go ahead and click on this section. We're gonna click regular and we're gonna add 3 blurbs. We're gonna add this section right here, okay? So going over here, I wanna select this and I wanna select a blurb. Now for the title, I'm not gonna put a title. And I'll explain to you guys why. So right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this information and paste it right there. Now for the design tab, or scrolling down here, for the image and icon, I want to actually use my own image. So I'm going to click on upload, and then right here, I'll put in an image right there. And then for the design, image and icon, we can change the placement to the left or to the top. But I kind of want to leave it at the top, I kind of like the way it looks, And then we can change like the, the border width. We can change all sorts of stuff about it. We can change, the color of this, but I don't want to get too much into that. We'll talk more about the image filter after this contact page. So right here under the title text, actually we don't have any title text, so we're just going to use the regular text. I want to center align that, and we can add in like, get a little bit customizable. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and close that. For the body text, we can go ahead and change this to something like light, maybe Lado, but we want to make it just a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger like that. Now, I bet you're wondering, it's all scrunched up. This is where you would probably enter in some body line height, something like that, to kind of decorate it, and then maybe reduce this just a tad, like something like that right there. That's perfect. And then you can increase the line height as well. You can also increase the line spacing, something that looks just like that. Okay. And then right here, we can do the same exact thing. So over here, I've shown you how to do one, and I basically just did the same thing for this one right here. So again, we add the blurb module. So I've shown you guys how to do one. So if you want to add those other ones, you can just go ahead and do that, but you guys kind of get it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste this and just kind of, put it right there. Might want to add like a different image for it because, I'm kind of a perfectionist. So I kind of want to just use different stuff. Just the small images and text fonts really, truly makes a difference. It makes your site look so much better and so much different than it did. So right here, image and icon, upload, and then I'm just gonna put that one right there. Okay, next we have our contact form. So right here, we have a 2-column row. We have some information right here, and then we have a contact form. So right here, I'm gonna click on this section right here. Now we can also add it inside of this section, and then maybe even add, I'll do a bonus. We'll add in like that other little area. So I'll explain what I'm gonna do right now. So right here, I'm gonna click on this, click on a 2-column row. And then on this section right here, I wanna add a contact form. And then right here, we have our contact form. Right here, I'm gonna enter in a call to action. And I'm gonna explain to you guys why I add a call to action. I did this before and people were like, why did you do that? So right here, I'm gonna do like a ready to talk. And then I can go ahead and put some dummy text. Okay. Now I'm not gonna put a link because if I put a link, it's gonna create a button, right? I don't wanna have a button. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say, no button, because if I add a button text right here and I add a link text to it, it's going to generate the button. Now, I don't want a button. I just like that position. I like you see how the call to action kind of is already designed for you. It's already made for you. So I really don't want to, have to do that with the text module, because the text module, I'm going to have to, center align it, change the margin and padding, so I'm kind of just stealing the ideas from other modules and kind of implementing it on my website. So that's kind of why I'm using that section right there. Now for the title text, I want to change this to something like black. And then maybe right here, we can change the line, or we can, kind of mess around with it. Over here, I want to do light, and then Lado, and then maybe make it a little bit bigger. And then right here for the title, or for the basic body text, we can just change that to something else like a Lado or something. And we'll just give it a black color because we're actually going to take out the image, or I'm sorry, the background. And then right here, we can add a box shadow or whatever else around it. So here, I want to go ahead and just get rid of this background. The background's really ugly, so we don't really need the background here. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and take out the background. Oh, I forget it does that. It does that sometimes. So I basically just added a section right here, and we added a contact form. Now I'm gonna go ahead and click on the settings, and we're gonna actually kind of go through some of these settings. So for the text right here, we have like a title, a success message. So you guys can also read this, but a success message is basically saying like, success once they, once it properly goes to your email, okay? And then right here, we have the submit button text, such as submits. Now right here for email, we're gonna go ahead and put in the email. Now, if you guys ever have a question on it, again, you guys can read this. So I wanna go ahead and put in my email address. And then for the message pattern, again, you guys can always read this. You guys can define it however you want to receive it. But for right now, I'm not going to do that. Also for redirect, this is a really cool feature. So if somebody decides to fill out your contact form, you want them to go to another page. Now this is perfect for landing pages. So let's say it's like, hey, you want free access to this, you want to make $1 million, sign up for our newsletter and we'll send it to you. And then they try to sell you something. That's how those guys make money. So right here we can put like, https://darrelwilson.com. And then, background. You can always design it right here, like the form field text. So right here, you can kind of design it and choose to however you want it to look. Title text, again, you can change all these settings, or you guys can go through these. These are all redundant and the same. So you guys kind of understand what these are. So also for like the email, you can, customize the email. You can give it like conditional logic. Now the conditional logic is pretty, it could be a little complicated at times. So I'm going to link the description for Elegant Themes contact form because they actually made a really good one. And I don't want to go over the conditional logic and everything else because Elegant Themes has made a separate tutorial for it. It's basically like if somebody does something, what do you want them to do? And guys, this can be really customizable. Like there's tons of stuff that you can do here. So most of you guys won't need to use this. This is probably for like people who are doing big stuff like you want to take like an order for contracting, like how many pounds of steel do you have? If you have that many pounds of steel, what kind of lumber do you have? And it just goes all over the place. So I'm not going to go into the conditional logic there. Also for field options, you might want to add like, is this required? I'm going to put yes. For background, you guys can change the background. For text, etc. So you guys kind of, get the point of the contact form. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Field options required, yes. So if you guys want it, etc. Conditional logic, background. And again, you guys can always, decorate this, or, you can get customizable with the backgrounds for each of all these things. So let's go ahead and send myself an email and also use the redirect option because those are probably the most important parts of the email contact form. You want to make sure you get the emails, right? So I'm going to make sure that my email is correct. And then also for the redirect, I want to make sure that it's darrelwilson.com. So right here, click on check, click on this, and click on save. So let's go ahead and send myself an email. So I'm exiting the Visual Builder. Now guys, if it doesn't send it to your contact or your email and it's just not working, it's most likely your hosting company. If you did not choose SiteGround and you chose some sort of like, those like free hosting companies where like your website's up and down every 5 minutes, it's probably not going to work. So you want to make sure that you get it from a reliable hosting company. So right here, I'm going to put my email. And then here I'm going to, hey, what's up, man? Great tutorial. And then right here, I'm entering 12 and then click on submit. Now it should redirect me to my website, darrelwilson.com. And there you go. Voila. So now let's go ahead and go to my email. So I have Gmail. So right here, I'm going to go over here and go to Gmail. And voila. So we have new message from Patty because that's what we named the website. And we click on it. We can see that, hey, what's up, man? Great tutorial. And it comes from our domain. So it's all about your hosting company at that point. So again, it's pretty simple. And then, we got redirected as well. So we know the contact form's working pretty well. So let's go ahead and go back to that domain. So divitheme.org. Okay, and go back to our contact. Now, lastly, I'm going to show you guys how to add in a Google Maps. Now, before, you actually had to enter like an API and stuff like that, and it was a little bit confusing. I'm sorry, you didn't have to enter an API, but now you have to. So people can be somewhat confused. I had that backwards. So right here, I'm going to go to add a new section, a full width, and I want to enter a full width map. So before we actually do this, guys, we need to get a Google API key, and it's pretty simple. So I'm gonna show you how to get one right now in case you want to add Google Maps to your website. So right here, I'm gonna enter Google API key. And right here, I'm gonna click on this. The first one that comes up, developers.google. And you have to have a Gmail account. And guys, it's pretty simple. So just click on get a key, and then you can create a project or select yours. So I'm just gonna, click on this one right here. And if you guys don't have anything, it'll prompt you to create one. So right here, I'm gonna click on next. It's generating an API key, and voila. So there we go. Just gonna go ahead and copy and paste that. All right, now we need to go back to our option right here. Now we need to actually, I'm gonna go ahead and save this. We need to take the API key and insert it into the Divi theme options. So over here, I'm gonna go to dashboard, go down to Divi, and go to theme options. So remember earlier how I said we have to go back to Google API? Well, now we're going back there. Now also make sure that it's just like that. If you have the other information mumbo jumbo, it's not going to work out properly, okay? So scrolling down here, I'm gonna go ahead and save these changes. Now let's go ahead and go back to our website, to contact, and let's go ahead and finish this right here. So I'm going to enable the visual builder. As you guys can see, it's kind of grayed out, it's kind of gray. So now guys, also there's a lot of modules I didn't cover in this tutorial, such as like the full width, like image, a header. It's kind of up to you guys to kind of venture off and kind of do your own thing, because now you guys have the basic understanding of a lot of the modules. So a lot of these are very, very similar. They might have different options, but in general, it's all the same thing. So right here, I'm gonna click on plus, our business, or our company, why not? Our company. And then right here, this is our company. And then right over here, you might wanna put like an address and like your phone number and everything else. And now for the map pin, I'm gonna put Hollywood. Hollywood, click on find. There you go, it found Hollywood. So that is for the pin. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and click on check. And now we wanna go to the map right here. So the map address, you would type in your address. Generally, it's gonna be the same thing as the pin. So right here, find. And then voila. So if I click on check, you can see that if they click on it, our company, this is our company, and then maybe right there, you can add in your address. Now, there's a lot of other, you guys can really, design this for the map. You guys can change like the color of everything. I mean, it's just so much you guys can do with this. So I'll leave it up to you guys to kind of mess around with, like if you guys want to do like the image filters and stuff like that. There's tons of other tutorials. In fact, I'll be linking a tutorial on the maps to kind of give you guys a better understanding of it. But in general, that's all you need. You just need the map and the background, and that's pretty much it. You can always add like a background to it, but yeah, so yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So in general, guys, like I said, you're just gonna need the map and the pin. You don't really need the background, and not unless you're adding an overlay to it and you want to get customizable, etc. So in fact, the overlay won't even show unless you prompt it to, okay? So right here, I'm gonna click on this and click on save. So right now, you guys can see we've done the contact form. Now, really quickly before we talk about this contact form and some other CSS, I want to actually show you guys how to import layouts, just like we kind of did before. So I'm going to actually give you all now the services page. I'm going to give it to you, okay? So there is a link in the description that is called a services page. Now, I'm giving this to you guys because, you guys watched this tutorial, and I'm really, glad that you guys made it this far. So I'm gonna go ahead and enable the visual builder. Now, there's a few ways you guys can upload layouts. Now, I'm going to enable the visual builder. Now, this sometimes works. So this is kind of where things can get a little weird with hosting and also Divi. So right here, I'm gonna click on this portability right here and go to import. I'm gonna choose the file, go to my desktop, and it's called Elegant Services. So I'm gonna click on that and go to import. Now, if it doesn't work, see how it says this should not be imported by this, etc. You guys can just go to the Divi library. Now, I hope they fix that because that's the reason why it's there, but sometimes it just does not work. So right here, I'm gonna go to add new. Import and export. Go to import and choose the file, and then simply go ahead and find the Elegant Services and then import that layout right there. So right now it is importing. Now the Divi library is probably the best way to import stuff. So it's called Elegant Services. All right, and sometimes it will time out like this and just be gray. That happens sometimes. I'm glad it happened because people always tell me, "Hey, man, you never get errors in your your tutorial." I say, "Yes, I do. I get them all the time. I have to kind of edit them out. You know, it sucks, but it's just how WordPress is." So services, and right here I'm gonna go to enable the visual builder, and I can even go in the back way and go to edit page. In fact, let's just do it the back way. So right here I can go to edit page. So if you like working on the back end, you know, I really wouldn't recommend it. You can do that. So right here, we can do load from library, add from library, and we have elegant services right here and go to load. Okay, and then right here, you can click on preview changes. Now, one thing I want to mention before that is right here, you might want to click on updates because if that's not the case, then, you know, it might not save. So right here, I'm gonna go to view the page. All right, now this section right here, you guys probably know how to fix this already, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about some other stuff. Now this is the services page, and again, it has tons of really cool stuff. So if you guys want to kind of do your homework and see how I accomplished some of these changes, you are more than welcome to. But there is one thing that I want to mention about this. My little bar went glitchy. That's weird. So scrolling down here, so I want to mention the image filter. Now, guys, there's tons of ways you can, you know, modify the image filtering. So for example, we have this picture right here. Now, by default, guys, this is just a question mark. That's all it is. But we chose the image and we basically inverted the background with the question mark. So let me give you an example. So right here under this setting, under background, we can see column 1. Now column 1 by default is just this background. So if I delete this and add in a different background to something that looks like this right here, you can see it's basically picking up the exact background. But the other one was a much better result. So basically, how did we accomplish this? Well, we accomplished this with the invert setting on the filter options. So for the design, under the filters, we have these settings right here. Now the invert is probably the most underlooked, but in theory, it's supposed to look like this right here. But with the invert option, you can actually put in a image on the first section and then invert it, and it will actually take that background and apply it to inside of your object, which is pretty incredible. So the invert option, again, is really amazing. And if you guys want to see some examples of it, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys this page right here. So this is an example of some stuff that you can do with the image filtering. So right here, they basically blurred out these other parts right here. There's 3 columns, they just blurred them out. Right here, you can see that they've actually reduced the text to kind of be absorbed in the background. Right here, you can see this the animation right here, how it kind of just disappears and comes in like that. And also right here, that's basically the same thing that we did right here. And again, you can have something that looks like this. So you can have like a text, and then an image, and then just invert everything on your page as well. And right here, same thing. And again, here are some other examples of things you can do with the Google Maps. And also, you know, you can actually, you know, invert like the colors and everything else. So these are just some examples that you guys can do with the Divi theme. It's incredible. And again, right here. So I'll also be linking some tutorials on the image filtering because Elegant Themes has provided tutorials for them, and I don't want to cover everything too much in detail because I can probably spend another 30 minutes giving you guys examples on the image filtering. But the things that they have just created and the accessibility with this WordPress theme is just, I mean, I've been around all the themes, and no other WordPress themes even come close to what this theme can do for you and your website. Okay, so that's basically in a nutshell. And really quickly, this section right here, if you guys don't know how to change this, you guys can actually, you guys can reduce this, or you guys can, you know, put it on the other side, or you guys can even add some CSS. So the CSS that I'm talking about is something called watermark. Now, I'm not going to be showing you guys CSS in this tutorial, but I'm going to make a video and I'm going to link it in the description of this video. So if you guys want to really improve your skills and you guys want to kind of make something that looks like this right here, and even on the home page, how we talked about this section right here, I'm going to be creating a second tutorial, and it's going to be targeted a little bit more for advanced users because this tutorial is designed for beginners. And If you want to kind of, if you're up for the challenge and you want to improve your skills, the tutorial is there for you. And also, I'm going to be providing you guys all with, since you guys have been here watching this tutorial, I'm going to actually give you this entire layout for free. So you're going to receive the home, the about, the services, the blog, and the contact page for this layout right here. So this layout was designed by Best Divi Child, and I've also included several other templates in my website just for my viewers. It's going to be password protected, and the password is Patty. So if you guys go to my website, you guys will actually have access to, let me give you these websites. So guys, this is a big bonus for all of my viewers. I've actually invited 5 other WordPress designers, and they've actually designed templates for my viewers, and you guys will have access to these templates, and these were created by world-class designers. Now this one was created by Mark Hendrickson. Now if you guys do want to visit their website, the link is in the description, but if you guys want access to this layout, it's on my website. You guys can download it totally free, and this is just one of the many websites that you can get. It's just amazing. So I've showed you guys how to basically use the layout system. So that's basically what these are. So these are layouts, and they're also child themes. And I invited these guys to teach on my, I wanted a layout from them for my viewers, and these guys created just some of the most amazing work. So again, this one is from Mark Hendrickson, and this is the layout that we use for this tutorial, and these guys, I chose their layout for this tutorial. Now there were some things in this tutorial, and their layouts, that was a little bit too advanced, such as this section and also this section right here. But in my next video where we talk about CSS and advanced features, I'm going to show you how we incorporated those designs, guys, because for a beginner, this could be somewhat confusing. But if you guys want to have access to this entire layout, you guys can go ahead and download all of this for free. So this was created by Best Divi Child. And again, these are available on my website. And this is just a way to say thank you guys for watching this tutorial all the way. And again, this is Smart Agency. So this is another design from another website. And guys, these all use the Divi theme. So all you need to do is simply download it, upload the layouts, and you're good to go. Now, some of these layouts, guys, they do require some custom CSS. So what that means is you're gonna have to copy and paste some stuff onto these layouts to get them to work properly. Because sometimes in WordPress, there's some limitations, and with the power of CSS, you can basically do anything. And this is a really cool feature they have right here, where everyone's kind of following, and then right here you can have this. So you guys can have all these layouts totally free. They are listed on my website. I've given you guys the password, so you guys just, you can just go ahead and enter in the password, and then you guys will have access to them. I might make them available for free to the public a little bit later, but for now, I kind of want to give you guys a special access to all these layouts, because this can really help you and your career of WordPress, or even help you guys get ideas for some of your web design jobs. This one right here was also created by B Superfly. This one right here was created by Webseats in Germany. He's actually a really good designer. This one was created by Divi Theme Store. And again, I'll mention them in the comments. So, hats off to all these guys for making these for my viewers, because these are nothing short of amazing, guys. And if you guys want these layouts, again, they are available for download for free on my website. There are some instructions, however, if you guys need to, to download them. So this right here is like a black and white. He basically made 2 home pages, which is pretty cool of him to do. And the services, and then the contact. So again, these will be available for free on my website. They'll be password protected just for you guys. So again, thanks you guys for watching. Now guys, I hope this tutorial was really helpful, and I really invite you guys all to go to my YouTube channel and kind of just, take a look at my YouTube channel and really, see my content. I'm probably the top rated professor on udemy.com for teaching WordPress. And, I really hope that you guys, succeed, because I know people, and they're trying to learn how to make, websites. It can be very difficult at times, and that's why I'm here, So, I used to go to websites and just get screwed. I would pay like $4 or $5 grand, and they'd give me some template, and I was like, this looks like crap, So, that's why I'm here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It inspires me a lot to create these tutorials, because people email me and they're just like, bro, I've started my own business because of you or whatever. So in the end, guys, I really hope this helps you guys out. So again, thanks you guys for watching this tutorial. Those layouts are available for free on my website, all for my viewers. So good luck, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next WordPress tutorial.